Welcome back, babies. This is Shonen Pulse episode 54. I am Yato. I'm joined with the usuals. We got Knox and Papa Traffy.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
yo.
And this is a special episode since it's Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo's finale. We got a special guest. We got Broken Ronin with us today. Say hello to the people.
Yo, yo, what's up, man? Appreciate y'all having me up here.
Yes, sir. You want to tell the folks who somehow, for some reason, might not know, where to find you or what kind of content you do? Let the people know.
Hey, man. Broken Ronin. You just search that up on YouTube, you'll find me. I'd be mainlining JJK stuff. I'd be doing a little bit of analysis, some power scaling, crossfit stuff. JJK I kind of be going the hardest on, but I be doing some tertiary stuff with like Blue Lock or some other series like that. But yeah, yeah. Appreciate you having me on. Love to get an opportunity to talk about JJK and just other manga I be reading. Because to many people's surprise, it's not the only series I be rocking with.
Sir, yes, sir. So happy to have you, and very happy to give you a space to talk about some stuff that you don't often cover on your show or your podcast with Creams or your personal channel. So that's the point of what we do here: try and get people to check out other things and talk about other things or whatever. But as usual on this podcast, for those who do or don't know, we talk about non-manga, Chainsaw Man, Dandadan, Centuria, Shangri-La Frontier. Gachi Akuta, Ranger Reject, Ichi the Witch, Kagurabachi, and today the final episode of our coverage for Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. If you want to support us, hit the like button. Stomp on the subscribe button. Our channel as well as my personal channel, Travis' personal channel, and Ronan's personal channel will be in the subscribe button too. So if you're not subscribed to any of the people talking today, because Knox don't use his channel anymore, go ahead and hit all those subscribe buttons. Subscribe to everybody, support everybody. We got memberships and stuff set up, but I ain't gonna bore you too much with the long ass intro like I usually do. Hopefully that don't get us demonetized because I don't know how long it's been. But anyway, we're gonna jump right into Dandadan chapter 227, and this chapter is called Saint Germain's Intent. But since it's Ronan's first time here, I want to hear your thoughts, man. You can give thoughts about the chapter in general, or how you feel about the series. How you feeling, man?
So, let's see. This chapter was cool. This chapter felt like a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? Not necessarily a plot turn, but I really do feel like this chapter did give us a little bit of information as to why things have been in the way they have. Like Momo, and maybe I haven't been paying close enough attention, but like
Yeah.
Momo, us understanding how like that played out, the memory loss, everything that came with that, leading into the betrayal, and what's the old dude's name? Zuma. Like him, like kind of catching up with him because this is the first time we've seen him in a little minute. I feel like.
Mm.
Um
Yeah.
just a cool little chapter. I will say, kind of turning the question back on y'all. I'm curious because I've been Dawn for me for a little bit has been a little it's been a little hit or miss, mainly from like the overarching narrative aspect of it. Like the long-term villain planning. Never been something that Dawn's particularly moved me on. I'm
Yeah.
curious how y'all been feeling about it week to week, and also just like how you've been feeling about um everything with like Saint Germain and just like the series direction in general. I'm kind of curious. I don't know too many people caught up on it right now.
So I'll start us off with my input on this. I do think that around the time it got to Momo's memory loss is when the story kind of weakened a little bit, and I think that was more so an issue with the whole amnesia trope. I do like Saint Germain as a villain just because he's been in the story for quite a while now, and we still aren't like absolutely sure he's even a villain. There's theories that he's trying to do this to protect Earth, and uh, everything kind of points towards, yeah, he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that he's taken more of like a quieter role in the story because it's helping to make him feel more menacing, even without him necessarily being involved with the plot too much. Uh, it definitely did have its weaker moments, but overall, I think Dandadan's been going pretty strong for quite a while now.
Yeah, and we've been having like this conversation on this show for a while about, and it's funny that this chapter is called Saint Germain's Intent because like we've literally been having an argument about that for the longest time in our Don coverage on this show about like is he the bad guy or is he like you know, kind of is it meant to make him seem like he's a bad guy until he like pulls the rug out eventually, and we, you know, get context for like what he's really trying to do, and it ends up being a little bit you know, less nefarious than like the story like might be kind of like trying to set it up to be and whatnot. And I've definitely been like team Saint Germain is like not really the big bad or whatever, and we're just made to think so. And I think Yato has been like my main like nemesis on that front like for a while.
Authentic.
we've had a lot of really funny conversations going back and forth about that potential in the narrative or whatever. So like I've had a lot of fun with the overarching, you know, big bad like villain setup in Dandadan since the Saint Germain stuff like kind of was first established. Me personally, I've been eating that shit up.
Yeah, I've liked it. I definitely can see, like I've seen a lot of people tweeting and stuff about it, saying that like Dandadan doesn't have like an overarching narrative and it's just a bunch of shit just kind of happening. And so like moments like this really, you know, make you go back and look at that, because it's like we couldn't see like what Yukinobu was cooking because we were just seeing those moments where he was just throwing stuff at a wall, or appeared to just be throwing stuff at a wall. And I mean, it always worked. I do think the amnesia thing, like Traffy said, was a bit weaker. I wasn't like super against it. Like a lot of people saw Momo wake up and go like, "Who are you guys?" and immediately was like, "Yep, I'm done with Dandadan." And I wasn't like that. Like I don't hate amnesia, but I can see why people dislike it, especially considering like we were, you know, a fucking butt hair away from Okarun and Momo like getting their like reunion moment and having the, you know, everybody's been waiting for this "I love you" and for them to kiss or whatever and fucking ride off into the sunset, and then like to have that moment robbed and have Momo come back and be like, "Who are you guys?" It kind of it sours that, and you know, makes us wait even longer for the moment. But I like where it's gone so far, especially with the after we started getting more of this plot stuff with Jermaine and this Vlad guy who is, I guess, the Dandadan. And something that this chapter made me think about too, reminded me like later on in this chapter when Zuma wakes up and he sees, I don't know who this woman is. Like you guys might know, but you know, Yukinobu has like a kind of same face syndrome a little bit when it comes to like some girls. So like, I don't know if I'm supposed to know who this is, and people can, you know, whoop my ass in the comments if they want. But like, Zuma goes like, "Who are you?" And my first reaction was that like the memory loss thing isn't tied to whatever happened in a moment. It was getting their powers removed. So like the only people that we've seen lose their powers and like wake up and start speaking have all woke up and be like, "Who the hell are you?" So Momo didn't know who the fuck anybody was. Zuma wakes up and sees this woman and he's like, "Who are you?" He remembers some things, like he remembers the cop dad or whatever. Like Momo remembers her grandma, obviously, but we haven't seen Koki or Rin like see anybody. So we don't know if like the amnesia is tied to them losing their powers or if the amnesia is like specific to Momo. Because this, I don't think this chapter confirms that he has amnesia, but I feel like this is a good argument to say that the amnesia is tied to them losing their powers.
Oh shit! Okay.
You think him remembering Daiki though? What do you think about that? Like, what's the mileage on? Because he also says he's gonna like run out to a woman's house, right? And then we transition. Yeah. So it's like, do you think? Like, I guess the question is like, well, how severe is the amnesia in each case, right? Because with Momo, it's like it's pretty. I guess from our perspective, because we know the entire cast, it's pretty damn bad. It like goes back, mad far. I'd be curious as to like if that does apply every time a power is stolen, like what the extent to that looks like, or maybe it's just like the knowledge that they had up to the point that which they like acquired their powers. So like from when they got their powers or when they manifested them forward is like where that amnesia takes hold. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Something like that. I'm still not like fully locked in on the theory, but like I feel like this chapter kind of gave me something to tug at. Just in defense of the whole Yukinobu making Momo be an amnesiac or whatever, because people were hammering it hard, saying like they dropped the series or they'll come back, you know, a year from now and he's a hack and, you know, writing some bullshit. I hate when they do this. So I was just like, I feel like this kind of gives me something to like leverage, be like, it's not just Momo, like everybody's gonna lose their memories, but I haven't like
it's just a
down.
double whammy. I feel it's a double whammy of the small arc into this. It's like, damn, bro, two avoidance gimmicks is kind of crazy. It don't mean it's bad. It just I feel people when they're like, bro, what are we doing? Like,
Yeah.
I can't be too mad at it. It didn't bother me that much because, like, I'll be real. I don't need that confession to happen right now, right? Like, I'm not. It's not something that like my enjoyment of the story hinges on whether or not that happens immediately. But I will say, if you're someone who's like invested a lot more in the romance aspect of Dandadan, nah, yeah, Yukinobu would get he be getting some words from me, man, because like double, it's like okay, we get one way to avoid it. Okay, you kicking the can down the road, and then you kick the can down the road again. Nah, that's you crazy for that, bro. You
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
for that.
It is
Yeah,
crazy to do that right after.
I don't personally agree with that theory because by the point that Zuma receives his powers, he knows his brother's dead, and when he wakes up, he's asking where Fuda is, and I'm sure he's talking about the umbrellas. So I don't think he's lost his memories.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be completely cool with that, like being wrong. It's just like the fact that he's like asking like who the hell are you and stuff like that. It made me like feel like it could be a thing. I'm completely fine if it does if it ends up not being the case at all, and he's got all his memories. He knows everybody because I mean, like Rona said, he's going to see a woman, so it's like I'm assuming that is like Seiko or Momo or whatever. So like if he lost his memories, he probably shouldn't know who that is. Like knowing, remembering his stepdad or whatever, his whatever you call him, the cop dad, and like the little kid who is now a kid again. Am I tripping? He got turned into an old man, so I guess now that he got cured, he's a kid again. So that's cool. But so he remembered him. But I don't remember how far back, like when Zuma's introduced, like if they ever mention like how he got his powers. But like that whole arc, he was helping the kid because the kid like was an old man and brought him that. Somebody brought him the game or whatever, and the dude was in there, and he like traded places with him or something. So I feel like it's not too much of a stretch to say like he might have gotten his powers around the same time as the kid. So like knowing the kid wouldn't be like too much of a stretch. But like I said, I'm not super like in love with the theory. It's just something that I just noticed and wanted to point out.
Yeah.
So fucking Vlad, man. What you think about this guy?
Vlad. Wait.
The fucking
The
Dandadan.
Dandadan.
Oh, the Dandadan nigga. Okay, so here's actually like something that's really interesting for me to think about anyway. Is the idea because the chapter is Saint Germain's intent, and of course we've been having this conversation like I was saying a little bit earlier about like whether or not the big bad villain as Saint Germain is like a red herring or not, and obviously it looks like they're in service of this Vlad character. And that everything is being done to, give him all of these powers and make him super strong for whatever end, whatever ultimate goal this nigga might have that I'm pretty sure we don't know yet. But it might be like world domination or like galactic conquest or like something like that. I don't really know. But like, how likely do you guys think it is that Saint Germain is doing like a Kenjaku?
Oh no!
Yeah, he's doing like a Kenjaku.
Bro, I was gonna say it. In my head, I was like, please don't be getting close to it.
Yeah, he's like Kenjaku type beat, bro. He's about to play this nigga
Bro.
to the left as soon as they load all of the powers into him. He's gonna fucking do his ass like he did Mahito, my nigga, and just
he's literally Kenjaku because the fucking storybook game is the fucking is the Mahito. Like once he came into possession of this fucking storybook and gave it to Vlad, that let him. That's like Kenjaku
Walk with me.
Mahito.
Walk with me, nigga.
Doing the fucking idol transfiguration on everybody. It like enabled his plan, and now he's like nurturing like Red Baron here. Fucking is like his Jogo or whatever. It's like he's nurturing these fucking these curses and shit, putting them in people, letting them like grow and stuff, and then feeding them to dude for his bruh. I can't believe you said because I was gonna
Come
fucking
on
say
now.
it.
Come on now.
Yeah, and I'll be real. I feel like it's not that far fetched. The writing's on the wall, like because we literally see Red Baron show concern for being like, dude, you're clearly kind of tweaking.
Yeah.
You're if you haven't hit your limit, you're pretty damn close. And we just say Saint Germain just blow right past that. He's like, yeah, man, nah, you can handle, nah, bro, more power. It don't even. Like, he just kind of like steamrolls right past that. It's a very obvious disregard for any like safety protocols and yada yada that you would expect from like an actual subordinate, an actual underling. in my opinion.
Mhm.
And so it's like, yeah, nah. To me, when I read this, it very much felt like a Vlad thinks he's in control, and it's we the audience are not supposed to feel that way, because that to
Yeah.
me it's just like, I don't imagine Yuki Nobutatsu is introducing this character, and we're supposed to immediately take him more seriously, or hold him in higher esteem than Saint Germain.
That's right.
And so it's like, yeah, nah, this character is definitely a vessel for a greater plan.
That's
At
right.
least that's my read of it.
No, 100%.
So yeah,
Yeah.
and I was gonna ask, right? What do you feel about, because you are talking about like, how, like, what is Saint Germain's intentions? Like, how do you feel about him talking like Turbo Granny in that last panel?
We talked about
I was
that.
gonna talk about that.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
talked
the
about
turd
that
nugget.
last week, didn't we,
Yeah.
Traffy?
No, because we
No,
didn't
we-
cover this one.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
we
because
talked about it.
yeah.
Yeah.
You read
Separately?
the chapter, or we read the chapter after the review, and then
Yeah.
talked about it personally off recording. Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't there for that. So yeah, the turd nugget thing. Like, I think we mentioned it before, like in a very like old episode, when like Turbo Granny, like since she's been missing or whatever, and we've been seeing Jermaine, and it's just like, you remember how she talks, and she calls people turd nuggets and shit, and she does in this chapter. But like when she found out that Jermaine was like in town, basically she was like, fucking Turbo Geezer, like she called him that. And it's like, it seems like these two have a history. Like maybe they had like a relationship or something. Maybe he's a similar case to like how she was, but he's like a spirit possessing a body, and this isn't actually him. Probably not, but like, I don't know. I think it's interesting that they both kind of like say they speak the same way, and Turbo Granny knows this guy.
Yeah, they from
Yeah,
the same block. They went to like high school
Yeah.
together and shit.
Yeah, they're cool homies, or they probably used to be homies, and it's like, I really want to know what his plan is and how it relates to Turbo Granny, because she wants to stop him. And
So,
yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say an interesting fact. It's kind of off topic though. The panel immediately after the "you fucking turd nugget," that is an actual like door structure called the Gates of Hell.
Huh?
The Gehenna.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
wait, where?
Rodin August Rodin's sculpture.
I wonder, like, is it being brought somewhere? Because I feel like last time we saw this door in the story, Jermaine like walked out of it, and it was like in the school or like a museum. But now here, it's like in front of like a photorealistic type of forest or something. Like, is the
I
door
think
being
it-
transported?
Yeah, I think it works as like Dracula's castle in Castlevania, where it kind of moves where it needs to be, and
Okay.
then he can enter it into the Gates of Hell. But that's where, the Dandadan is.
Yeah, Jermaine's really just, it's hard to like pinpoint like where his intentions are. I mean, the chapter's called His Intent, but it's like he's working with these spirits. But like when we saw, like in that chapter when Turbo Granny like was thinking about him and she called him a turbo geezer, like he was with the aliens. So it's like, whose side is he actually on? Is he building up like the ultimate fucking, is he doing like a Kenjaku bomb? Like, is he trying to make some sort of big attack to like wipe out all the aliens or something? Or is he making something to assist in the aliens? Like, isn't he? I imagine he's a yokai since she knows him, since Turbo Granny knows him. But it's like, it's hard to really say where I feel like his alignment is.
Yeah, and that's kind of, that leads back into is he a villain, or, is he going to turn out to be a good guy that's preparing for, some like big alien invasion?
Yeah. So I know Knox wanted him to be a good guy, but Ronin, how do you feel if he ends up like saving the world? How would that make you feel?
Let's see. My only thought would just be like, you gotta present me something that all of this preparation is like super duper necessary for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like you just have to think about it. It's like, okay, cool. We're talking about him like moving like Kenjaku. So like, imagine what is the threat so great that to pull that parallel, right? Kenjaku's doing all of this just in preparation. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
so
the
this
main
is-
characters. The main characters have kind of been getting it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just to kind of give a little bit of context for like why I've been like team, Saint Germain isn't the bad guy that they're kind of trying to make him out to be. There's been a couple of mentions throughout the series of some kind of like future intergalactic like war between aliens and yokai, and how like they've been talking about how yokai are kind of like defenders of Earth. You know what I mean? Like basically like against like alien invasion. I don't know if like that's the exact like line of writing or whatever that we've gotten for it.
That's why the balance is kept. I do remember that like spread or whatever.
Yeah, like they were talking about how like there's some kind of like intergalactic like imperium or like empire that I don't know if it's like a shared like where it's like one, totalitarian, like iron fist, like alien god ruler that's like commanding like everything else, or if it's literally just like a chaotic fucking, universe full of malicious aliens that like want to attack like whatever sentient life they can find on any planet, and Earth just so happens to be there, for all of these different alien races and empires to like come in contact with and try to fuck up, and like and Earth just has these yokai defending it. I don't know like what it is, but just the idea that there could be potentially some huge war between aliens and spirits on Earth, if Saint Germain is worried about that conflict and wants to protect the planet from that inevitable encounter, then I can see him going through all of this in preparation for something like that. And considering how high the stakes would be in a situation like that, there's obviously, or maybe not obviously, but there's like the potential that there could be less of a reason to try to do things like entirely like altruistic in preparation for that. And he might have to do some underhanded backdoor shit, like basically trying to do like the right thing the wrong way. And that's why he's kind of painted as this villain, in the foreground in the narrative of Dandadan up until this point. And that's why I think it's like kind of like a red herring situation where the rug will be pulled out from under us and we'll actually learn his true intentions, and there'll be a little bit more on like, the benign or the benevolent side of things when all the dust settles and all of the writing is there. We'll find out like, oh, he really was just trying to help us out, but did it in this way that he thought that he had to, kind of situation is kind of where my mind has been with Saint Germain's character since I started thinking about this shit. So
yeah, and we were under the impression that the same aliens that invaded Vamola's homeworld were going to be like the big in-game threat.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think they need to, if like that's going to be the case, and Jermaine is like preparing for a greater threat, something that's going to be like on a galactic scale like that or something, like they need to drop another like hint somewhere so that it like, if this happens in another 50 to 100 chapters, it doesn't feel like some big bad monster just kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, if it's an alien force, then I think a little, breadcrumb here and there from like the alien chick that was butt naked and Jermaine gave her a suit. Like if she mentions like her people or something, or if we like get a shot at the sky and somebody says something about like other aliens being out there. I don't know. Like I feel like we need to get a crumb somewhere like soon before like that big reveal comes. That way it doesn't feel like, oh, where the fuck did these guys come from? Because I mean, Dandadan, I mean, it's kind of known in the same way as Chainsaw Man for like, you're never going to be able to guess what's coming next week. So it's like, if something like that happens, it would be fitting for the series. But I don't know. I just don't want like such a drastic change and Jermaine to be like, actually, I'm your friend, really. I mean, he did tell Red Baron to like be nicer or whatever with the kids, but still, I feel like it would be too quick of a shift, and I just want something to kind of ease us into that.
Yeah, honestly, for me, it would just be it would be less about the shift for Saint Germain and be more about the shift like from antagonistic view. Because like one thing I just really don't like, and I don't know if any of you are even still like tapped in the Sakamoto days, but like something that's just that a grievance real quick, just to use as a comparison, that's been getting me is like the introduction of antagonists without any like narrative buildup, and then just saying, yeah, we've secretly been hiding some of the strongest characters in the verse, guys. Here you go, fight them.
It's like, kind of like in Dragon Ball, how like they amped up like Frieza for like the entire like story basically, and then after Frieza loses, then like all of a sudden other wildly powerful, stronger than Frieza kind of like characters like come out that everyone always knew about but didn't say anything about up until that point, or some
Yeah,
shit.
it's just I'm
Yeah.
just a little like I'm not really moved by that genre of like villain lead up. It's not to say no good villains can come from it, but I don't like feeling as if characters that we've already established on the protagonist side to be really strong and competent are just getting like washed by characters that you just bring in and just say, yeah, but they were always secretly strong. It's like, okay, cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to feel like I want to feel the danger that the author is saying my favorite characters are in, right? It's like,
Yes.
okay, cool. The main cast, the world is in danger. You got to make me, you have to be a very good author to make me feel that with no buildup. It's not to say it's not possible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like that requires a very, very like skilled pen.
Yeah.
Whether or not Yuki Nobutatsu has it in order to just like pull a rabbit out of a hat like that, maybe to be determined. But my feelings on that are just like, for the threat to be cool and respectable, I have to feel what the characters feel to some extent. I have to be able to feel that looming threat, that like, it's guys, I know what it's like when they get invaded by aliens and
Yeah.
they persevered still. So it's like, now you got to top that. Now you got to go bigger.
Yeah.
And there are very few ways to go bigger than that without a lot of like lead up to it. Because I mean, it's like what y'all have been saying. Saint Germain kind of has like a menacing aura within the context of Dandadan because he's been here for a while. He's just been doing stuff in the background without us entirely knowing what or why. And so it's like, okay, cool. You replace him. You don't make him the overarching main antagonist. That's fine. I'm not like married to the idea of him being one or the other. But what's next, right? What's the actual, if not him, who? And more importantly, like, why do I care? You know what I
Right.
mean? Why do I care about who you bring in next?
So going back to what
So-
you were kind of like saying about, sorry, Traffy, I just wanted to say, just because it kind of like ties into what I was just saying about Dragon Ball a moment ago, to what Ronin was saying about how you have to be a really skilled author to make us care about a villain with no build-up being introduced, especially this deep into a story where the main characters have been so successful in dealing with threats up until this point. And I brought up Dragon Ball as like an example of like how, the Frieza and then the later characters like just being kind of like shoved in there, and how we equated that to Sakamoto Days structure in like that same vein. But then also, to Dragon Ball's credit, I think that Toriyama did achieve that with Cell, because and the reason why he was able to do that is because Cell wasn't, this character that they had been hiding and no one just so happened to mention, while talks of Frieza were happening. Like, they made that nigga in a test tube, and it was like a biologically like engineered like weapon that just so happened to become like one of the strongest things like in the universe up until that point, stronger than Frieza. I think that that's a good example of how you can do that, unless I'm forgetting something about Cell.
He came back from the future.
Wait, did we
Because-
know that?
Yeah, Trunks had killed Android 18 and 17, so Cell couldn't absorb.
Oh,
him, so he
right.
went back into
Yeah.
Of course.
After
My
killing
bad.
future Trunks.
Yeah, my
I do
bad.
think
So
it's
there-
al- I do think
there
it's
was
also
a little
fair.
bit of a breadcrumb there for that, but it's
Yeah.
but it's not like, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Yato.
I think it's fair if the character like ends up getting that strong. Like if it's somebody who's introduced and we see them like go through, like Cell, he didn't start off the strongest character. He became that by absorbing the other character. So like if something is introduced and they progressively get strong either through training or like power ups, kind of like this Dandadan guy, then like it would make sense. But I just don't feel like this Vlad dude is the end game. I feel like he is an ends to he's going to be a solution to an end game that we aren't certain of yet.
So back to Ronin's point, one thing I've noticed about Yukinobu is he loves to put in breadcrumbs, right? So, the alien invasion of, I just said her name,
Romola?
Vamola, of her home world, that could have been a breadcrumb for like this impending threat. That we just haven't gotten elaboration on yet. And I'm not saying the writing is there for it, but I do think there are crumbs in place that lead to it. Because on top of that, you have the smiling lady or whatever, who was supposed to be one of the strongest yokai, she kind of just disappeared and could come back into the story at any time. Now we have toilet bound Hanako-san, who is supposed to be the strongest yokai, and we just got one scene with her. You have Turbo Granny, who hasn't done anything in quite some time. You have like all of these little pieces scattered about that, with the right writing, could come back to, what's more threatening than a group of aliens showing up to attack our protagonist? How about an armada of aliens, and now you're getting all the yokai to join forces with our main cast to fight this armada of millions or thousands of aliens or whatever. And that becomes a more believable threat without having to see the enemy train. The issue with that is we would need writing to see like who is leading these aliens that's supposed to be like this really big threat. That's the key piece that we would be missing in that situation.
Yeah. I think it'll be important to have some writing for that character too, beyond them just appearing and going like, ho ho ho, I'm coming to take over your planet, bitches. Like, we gotta know a little bit about the like leader of this like alien armada or whatever. I don't want them to just show up and be like, I'm taking your planet now, bitches. And then we amass a massive fucking yokai army to battle him. I hope we get to know like our enemy a bit more before we jump into that like final battle. And I don't know if I feel like we're heading there yet. I still think we probably got a couple more little mini arcs before we jump into what will probably be the final battle arc or whatever. But if it's anything like that first Galactic Invasion, I think that arc lasted about a year. So I think we at least are looking at like a 50 chapter arc coming up soon. But like this last arc with Toilet Bound Hanako, that just kind of came out of nowhere. Like nobody was expecting that. Down to the Momo and them were talking about like going on a date together, and then next thing we know, we see Yukishiro and Rin get fucking assaulted by weirdos in the mall. So it's like anything can happen. We can get another, Seiko eating ramen with her homeboys arc and shit. Like anything can happen. It'd probably be a while before we jump into this final arc, but we now have 4 of these fucking fairy tale characters, and like I can't remember who the 2 that are left. But
can we talk about that for a moment?
Yeah,
because let me tell you, Knox called me, I think it was Tuesday, because Zostis 1500 commented, good job puzzling out Snow White equals Koki Yukishiro. It's really obvious once you realize that Yukishiro literally means Snow White. And I was so mad that I went through all of this mental math to come to the conclusion that Yukishiro was Snow White just for her name to be a direct translation.
Yeah, nigga, when I tell you, like, I was at work when that comment came in on my phone, and like I work at a restaurant, and like I'm like, carrying plates of food and shit like that, and I like came into the expo line, and I was just about to grab a bunch of food and bring it out to a table, and I was like, I got the notification, I felt the vibration in my pocket. And I like read that shit. I almost fell to my knees on the expo line, bro. Knocked all that shit over, bro. I was like, no way, because I know both of those words already, the translation for them, and but like just like seeing them together in a last name just had me. I just didn't think about it at all. And we even Googled Shorty's name in the review, trying to remember what her name was. And I saw that shit.
Got it if I was there.
No, the fuck you wouldn't, bitch. Because listen, I literally Googled that shit, saw the words in text with my eyeballs on my screen, and didn't even think about it. There's no fucking way, bro. I was like,
you could see fucking smoke coming out of my ears, and I was, oh, the pygmies are the dwarves, and then the whole time her name is just Snow White.
Yeah, I called Yato first. I FaceTimed him. I ran into my break room at work, and I was like, nigga, I need to see your face when you read this comment.
Yeah. I was like laying on the couch, taco meat out, just fucking chilling. I was like, fuck this nigga what, yo. It's like, go look at the fucking YouTube comment. I was like, bro.
I was gonna FaceTime Trappy too, but I was like, wait, this nigga's poor. He has Android. I can't even do that. So I just called him normally.
You see how they do me, Ronin?
Yo, you got.
I'm seeing it, bro. You gotta fight back. Damn.
100 years too early.
Hopefully he not secretly also fucking Android niggas.
Oh shit! Hey man,
Not so secretly, bro. I'd be repping this shit out in the open.
oh no, I was gonna say do a phone reveal, but he's shameless. No, I'm kidding.
Phone reveal is crazy. Yeah, but so all right, so who do my brain is cooked right now. Who are these last cards gonna be? We got 2 left. It's it's not Gigi and Momo, right? No, Momo's lost her power. I'm tripping. So
so they got Momo, they got Koki, and they got Rin.
They got So actually, before Traffy cuts in, it doesn't have to be
And Zuma.
It doesn't have to be one of the kids because they got Red Baron. So Red Baron was one of them. So it doesn't.
Oh, so there's one left.
Yeah. So yeah, is it Evil Eye? Who? We got Red Riding Hood. Hansel and Gretel was the brooms.
The Adventures of Pinocchio is all we have left.
Yeah.
So like, could that be what's the girl that's in love with Okarun? Could that be her?
Ira?
Oh, Ira.
Yeah, could that be Ira?
Because
I mean, she lied about Momo. Remember, she like told. I mean,
wait.
with the way the names go and stuff is like you look at the power, you look at the character, you look at their names. It's like, was Koki Yukishiro like destined to be Snow White? Like,
this is what me and Traffy were talking about at the end of the last review, and I felt so like frustrated that I wasn't like properly able to articulate like my thoughts on like where I was going with like either like the destiny or like the prophecy. Of these characters always having to represent these fairy tales, because it seems like so circumstantial, like what they've been through in their life just so happens to like line up with the themes of these fairy tales. And like, what if things just didn't happen that way for them? Yeah. Then like, would
like,
they
what if
still
Koki
be
got killed or something?
Yeah, exactly. Like, would they? Like... would they still be like? You know, what if? Let's say her name wasn't Koki Yukishiro, and you know, and what was tying her to the Snow White fairy tale card was just the fact that like, the pygmies represent the dwarves and like some other kind of like situation. Like what is tying them to these cards? Like,
I think you're thinking a little too hard.
I know I am.
Because when you have like a prophecy, it's, you know, a destined outcome. It is the way things have always been and will always be. So it's not a matter of what would happen if something different happened. It's this is the predetermined path that was aligned by the universe or whatever.
Which is wild because like this fucking random Jumanji arc, like I thought was a random Jumanji like reference or whatever in this wacky ass story, ended up having an artifact or like these items or whatever that are this important to like the universe or whatever, or like the overall like story of like Dandadan. Like I would have never thought that, you know, this fairy tale card, which is a part of this like supernatural board game or whatever, was gonna end up being like so like pivotal to the lives of like everyone in the story. Like it's just so like what, like it's honestly one of the crazier reveals that I've seen in the story. Just like the more I think about it, the more my brain like starts to like vibrate. Like I like it's my like I swear it's like I feel like my brain is hot. Like there's like steam and pressure building up inside of like my skull. The longer I think about it, I'm like, it's so wild to me.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff. So, end of the chapter. Fucking the people that saved Momo, they're in here apologizing to Seiko, and they look kind of like gnomes, yo, like fucking garden gnomes. Like they look weird, but they had you know, the shinobi chick infiltrated their ranks and took Momo's power. So
why do they kind of look like a mixture of the Serpos and the mole people?
The fucking what were they called?
The family, I don't remember their name.
Yeah, I forgot what they were called too. Yeah, they're funny looking, but yeah, I don't know. What do you think we're going next chapter? Since we got Manjiro here at the end, you think we're gonna go to like Manjiro and Okarun or what?
Yeah,
I'd have to assume so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's
You
weird.
think
to
they're
end.
you think they're sending the both of them to track down the Kanoichi?
Maybe that like I guess so. So another thing I was like worried about is like once you take all these powers from everybody, you just got Okaru. Like who's our defense on the human side? But we're kind of like building, a little bit of an army. Even though we're losing a lot of people on our side, we still got like Okaru. He's still capable with the Ogre Club, and who knows, Turbo Granny might give him powers back. We still got Evil Eye. We still got I keep forgetting her name with the
Ira.
yeah, we got Ira. But then we got the two guys that Seiko knew who had like powers or whatever. And then you got all the people that Turbo Granny knows, like the Split Mouth Woman and Hanako-san. And the fucking Split Mouth Woman took out the fucking aliens by herself. Like she straight fist through the sky and was like hammering down on all their spaceships. So it's like we got a lot of people, but I don't know, just it still feels weird to be taking power from everybody, knowing that like in the end it's probably going to be like Okarun and Momo versus the world or whatever. Or that's how I envision it. But
Well, they only need to take one more person's power, so we still got either Ira or Gigi if one of them gets their powers taken.
yeah, I'm thinking it's Ira because she, like I said, she lied about Momo and she's probably lied about other shit too. She be lying.
She'd be lying to herself.
Yeah, but I think I'm squeezed out for this one. What you think? Huh?
Oh.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
My brain started functioning.
Aw.
So
First time ever.
While-
Nice. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
So-
sorry.
with Ira, you're focusing on the fact that she's lying, but when you think of Pinocchio, his story is becoming a real boy, and you have Gigi and the Evil Eye, and the Evil Eye just wanted a childhood.
Okay. You might
So
be
Oh
go
shit! He
either
just wanted to
way.
be a real boy.
Might be
Yeah.
cooking. Yeah, because he didn't get to live that. Okay.
We sure
So-
none of these names
And-
translate to Pinocchio or something?
Yeah, hold on. Wait a minute now. Hold on. Yeah, we need to Google these names real quick.
And with that, the Red Baron was very adamant on going after Gigi. You could see it as like a revenge thing, but he could also be a target.
Yeah. I was thinking it was still more like he just was like, fuck that kid. I want to beat his ass. But like, oh, it kind of feels weird that the Red Baron wouldn't know that he was like vital to this. Like he's assisting in feeding things to Vlad and then to not know that he was an ingredient in this fucking yokai soup is kind of silly.
Yo,
We can't even
wait.
figure out who's associated with what. How is he supposed to if they didn't tell him?
I guess.
Yo, so Joji, fucking Gigi's like surname or whatever, translates to like circle/perfected temple, often implying like stability and spiritual completion, which is like his whole like training arcs theme or whatever when he was training his spiritual energy and like just like the equilibrium he achieved with like him and Evil Eye after his training and shit. Like that's just a really cool thing to know now. What's her name? Ira Dandadan. Ira Shiratori. Hold on.
I feel like Shiratori is like a fucking board game or something. Ira
Shiratori meaning
Shiratori.
white bird,
Okay.
specifically referring to a swan. Yeah,
You never know, though.
yeah. Fuck you. You keep up with Tatsu.
Yeah, you never know because like
He gave
'cause,
us
like,
one
in the-
obvious one in the name, and then knowing we would Google the rest, there's just no other
Yeah.
connection to any of the fairy tale cards.
He's just wasting our time. Yeah. Let him go look this shit up and try and think about it. It's just nothing related to fucking last names again.
Zuma has no direct standard meaning in Japanese.
All I want to do is zoom, and a boom, boom. Too old.
Wait, Unji.
crowd too young.
Unji. No, I'm not too young for that. I'm the oldest one here. Unji meaning Japanese. Aren't I? Or wait, no, you're older than me.
No, you older. You definitely aren't.
Anyway, so yeah, Unji Zuma. Yep, nothing. Unji is anso, such as, or as follows. Yeah, there's no tie to like Hansel and Gretel in his name, even though like we're pretty sure that he's Hansel and Gretel, isn't he?
Yeah.
think so. Yeah.
Bro, this is dog shit. I'm about to drop this fucking manga right fucking now. God damn it.
What does it mean, bro? All right. So, as I was saying,
Sorry.
I'm all squeezed out. No, I'm talking about traffic cut me off. Yeah.
Oh yeah, what
But,
the fuck?
Hey,
I think I'm done with ideas for this one. My brain's smoked, so we're gonna see. You got any other thoughts for this one, Knox?
Nah, my shit is drained.
All right. What about you, Ronan?
No, that's pretty much all I got.
All right, so that's gonna do it. Oh wait, Traffy, what about you?
Mhm.
damn. To excuse myself, I wasn't all skeeted out when we were ending the segment before.
Yo,
I'm
Ronan
skeeted
doesn't
out
know
now.
about this squeezed and skeeted shit, bro. We needed to give him.
You should have just act like you never heard that. It's just like, what the fuck is that, Traffy? Are you
Yeah,
all
what are you
what?
fucking talking about, bro? You freak. No.
I just assumed that's all you got down over here. I was like, "Ah,
Yeah.
No, that's a Traffyism, yeah. That's
Yeah.
straight out of his mouth.
Actually, I think you started that, Yato. But
All
anyway.
right, so that's gonna do it, baby. That was Dandadan chapter. What the fuck? Where was the page? Dandadan chapter 227. Saint Germain's intent. Now jumping into Shangri-La Frontier chapter 257. Sword Wolf against Lightning Flame Beast Part 1. And I gotta say, I was not expecting a part 1 for a chapter title within this arc, considering Kazo has been kind of dog walking these guys. So this tells me that this fight between Kazo and Rebellious is going to go on for a little while, unless, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah, I guess it's going to go on for a while. What y'all thinking?
Yeah, I don't know, because like you get to the final panel of this chapter and you're like, yeah, Rebellious is done
He's
for,
outta here.
and like,
But he didn't take
Okay.
any damage. I mean, his weapon got broke, but like I'm imagining that he's just gonna be pissed and probably like start emptying the vaults in ways that he probably shouldn't do or something.
Yeah.
It's just weird to like suddenly have a part 1 for a chapter title. It's like we haven't had, in the past when we had parts, them shits
Yeah.
went up to like 37. It's like I don't see this fight lasting that long.
I
but,
want to
like,
say that, like, it's either going to be like a two-parter and like the next chapter will conclude it. But if it is going to be like multiple parts, like maybe like 3 or maybe even more than that, I don't think it necessarily. Well, actually, I was going to say I don't think it necessarily means that Katsu and Rebellious are going to be fighting that whole time. It could just be like while Rebellious is still, a legal combatant in this like tournament or whatever, and like while we're following him until he's defeated, it's going to be this naming convention and all of these parts until he goes down. But like it's Sword Wolf against Lightning Flame Beast, so that implies that it's Rebellious and Katsu, right?
That's what I thought, because like
Yeah.
I'm looking and I'm like, which is which? Because like I mean, Sword Wolf, I'm guessing is Schwarzwolf, and he he used swords, but like Kazo isn't like Kazo doesn't do anything lightning or fiery, right? Unless I'm tripping. Like
and neither does Rebellious, because he has a flame and a free sword.
yeah, so like the naming convention here is kind of weird.
Unless it's referring to Siger 100.
What?
Like, the part 2 is going to be the actual fight between the Sword Wolf and the Lightning Flame Beast. But this is like a setup going into that fight.
Okay. I don't know. It's interesting, but yeah, how'd you guys feel about this chapter?
I thought it was cool. I think it was dope to kind of get information on Katsu's job and his job upgrade or whatever. Destroyer is like a really sick idea for like a pugilist or monk or martial artist class character.
Yeah.
Because it's like the nigga just wants to box you at the end of the day. So it's like if you have any items and you destroy them and that gives you increased damage on the fists and the feet, and that's like that makes sense. That's a really good idea as a job upgrade. I think it's also cool that we see Dark Overstrike again used. I don't think we've seen him use that technique since Wazaimon, right?
Yeah, because he hasn't been in any kind of fights. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember like the first time that he used Dark Overstrike in that fight. I remember thinking like, what a cool looking ability, like conceptually too, like the red, blue, yellow 3-color combo, Spirit Fist. It reminds me of Iron Fist from Marvel Comics a lot. And then the Dark Overstrike, like illustration techniques used to give us that glow. I remember it being really sick back then, and it's really sick here too.
Oh my God. I just realized. No, my theory is wrong. The chapter title, the Lightning Flame Beast, I think refers to Rebellious, because Katsuo at the end of the chapter breaks his fire sword, so he's probably going to bring out some like lightning blade next, along with his cold blade.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, because
But
like either one of them could be the wolf, because Wolfgang versus Schwarzwolf or whatever. So, but so yeah, this is
I mean, like,
interesting. I guess
wait a minute, how is that means Katsuo is the sword wolf, like
yeah,
sword
it's weird.
where
Yeah, because like he
Yeah.
doesn't.
maybe because he's attacking his swords directly, so he's like a sword hunter. Wolves are hunters.
I think it makes the most sense for Kazuo to be the beast in this situation.
Yeah, especially considering that he just got done using like Byakko and shit.
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
it's really weird. It's just like why call him that when he's not using lightning or flames?
Right.
Yeah,
Be
maybe it's
strange.
more like the role he's taken being the front line to fight in this tournament, so he's the attacking force, the sword.
Sure.
But
Maybe we'll know, by the end of the chapters with this naming convention exactly who was who.
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Hopefully, but yeah, it always trips me up, and I never think about like how deep this like full dive technology goes or whatever. And it's always like impressive, like the different ways they go to show like how it works or whatever. Because like I never in a million years would have imagined that like I don't think it's happened in the past, but like you can break somebody else's like equipment, like not due to durability or not due to like them using it and it hitting something too hard or whatever, but like Kazuo straight took the sword from him and then punched it in half. Is like that isn't your weapon. Like I feel like that was kind of crazy, but since it's since the game is set up the way it is with physics and stuff like that, then yeah, it makes sense. But in any game that I've ever played, it's like you can't just take a nigga's weapon and break it. Like
yeah.
it just works.
It's
because
like
of-
you kill them a bunch and it'll decrease their durability until it breaks, but you're not just gonna. I mean, I guess there could be like some games where it's like targeted armor damage, but I couldn't think of any off the top of my head.
yeah. So I guess still just going with the name. Maybe Rebellious pulls out another sword and it's a lightning one, and Kazuo breaks that too, and now Kazuo has like lightning and flame elements infused in his like fighting style or something for the duration of this battle. But I still just I feel like Kazuo has to lose, man. Like I want to see other people fight.
No,
wanna
I told
see-
you. I told you he's gonna sweep, and then Saiger 100's gonna beat Katsuo and just gonna start going through him.
Yeah. I don't think you talked. I listened to the episode y'all did last week, and I don't think you mentioned it. But
No,
like,
I said it to you too.
No. I was talking about the thing where the cool thing you said about like Saiga 0 versus Saiga 100. I really want that to
yeah.
happen, and how like that could be passing the torch and making sure that like that you're strong enough to stand on your own without the clan type shit since she left, and also like the final goodbye to my sister that's down the hall. Or I'm no longer gonna be like
Oh.
playing in the same guild as her or whatever.
Didn't we always
No,
know that
yeah,
Saga
I
Zero
said-
was stronger than Saga 100 anyway? Like, isn't like she's literally the attack holder? Like, they put all of their money into building her up and shit. Like, don't we know that she's the tightest one?
We know that I think she's reached like a title because of like how strong she is. I think she probably is like she might be the strongest like physical character, but we don't know what Saiga 100 is capable of, and she's this guild leader and has all this money and connections. So it's possible she still probably can put up a good fight. It's just like if Saiga 0 hits her, it just wipes her character clean, like
Yeah.
deletes her character.
She evaporates her.
So
Yeah.
what's funny about that is that theory, I told you that the week before last when we did an episode together. But last week on the episode with Nox, I was saying it ends up as Saiger 100 versus Sunraku in a sense of like, hey, is my little sister going to be okay going with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
So
so
it
funny.
could be a test for Sunraku or a test for Saiger Zero.
It's so funny that like that sort of like idea can take place in a story like this where it's in video games. It's like, is my sister in good hands? Nigga, we on Xbox.
right.
Like nigga, you're not taking her away from the home. I'm still gonna go and like knock on her door and tell her dinner's ready, but like,
Yeah.
are you strong enough to lead my sister? Like, nigga. Like,
Fucking nerds.
yeah, this
Go
shit is
outside and
super-
touch some fucking grass, you fucking
Yeah.
loser.
This shit is super nerdy and that shit's hilarious as fuck, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for any matchup, to be honest with you. I think this can go a lot of ways, but unfortunately, if Kyogoku doesn't get to fight, I'm gonna have to drop the story. But I trust that Katarina and Ryosuke Fuji wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do something
Yeah.
so stupid. They're gonna let her
Kyogoku-
fight.
Kyogoku is the one I was looking forward to the most until that idea of Saiga 0 versus Saiga 100
Yeah.
came. So now I'm like really wanting to see that. But yeah, it's got to be like I need Saiga 100 to do something.
Okay, no. So I did say that theory to you, but in last week's chapter, Saiger Zero said she wasn't going to be participating.
Oh, did she?
So then I was like, okay, so Sunraku versus Saiger 100 would make a lot of sense as well.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be dope.
That's how I got there.
Yeah. I'm down. I really just want to see, the people that we haven't seen fight. Like I don't need to see Pencilgon fight, even though it'd be nice. I really just need Kyogoku and Saiga 100. And I feel like those two, they have kind of like not a beef, but they got some kind of like personal stuff going on. Like I want to see, what's up with them. Like Saiga 100, I feel like would have a good fight with anybody. Even though we've never seen her fight, but like I would be pleased with watching her fight anybody. What does she even like? Does she carry a sword? I don't even remember like what we've seen her. All we know is she's got big armor. Like, does she have like a sword on her hip or something? Where is she?
I actually don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, like I have no idea what kind of like fighting style she would have. She just looks like a knight, but I don't know. Like, does she carry a sword and shield or something? I don't remember.
I know she probably got a sword for sure.
She finna whip out nunchucks, yeah.
Bro, now that I think about it, like how many archers do we have in Shangri-La Frontier? Is it just Rust?
Rust is the only one, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like we should see more of those. I feel like that's a super common class in MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Ranger type shit, yeah.
Yeah. And pet, like, fucking hunter type thing. Pet and a bow.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have any, like, pet classes.
Oh,
Sunraku's the
man,
closest
we
thing we
need
got to
that.
a pet.
I mean, Sunraku is the closest thing we have to a fucking rogue too. Like we don't have like a true rogue in this series either. I don't think.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
like sneaking and backstabbing and pickpocketing.
Yeah.
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 Except for
those are
Pencilgon.
yeah, true. I mean, Pencilgon is that like
It's like
personality
her.
wise, but like it's not her class, you know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to.
She's like a lancer, isn't
put
she?
this. She's like a bard.
Oh,
But she uses a lance though.
She's very charismatic.
Yeah, I guess the roles aren't like as concrete as they are in the video games that we play. Like there's some flexibility there.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty straightforward chapter. Kazo, breaks the gauntlet and starts lighting shit up and fucking crushes old buddy's fucking flame blade or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't know. This last page when he's like fucking freaking out, this shit's good stuff. Fucking this whole arc is just the rage bait arc, like successful rage bait. They're just everyone here is just working to piss this dude off and get him to snap.
I just realized it has been 6 straight chapters of Katsuo just throwing hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Like at this point, he's just got to sweep.
Yeah, we're not gonna get like another Kaizo moment for several fucking 100 chapters now because
Nah, for
because
real.
it's like, what, you want more? Like, we just watched the fucking wipe the floor with this whole clan, this whole guild. Everyone was 20 plus levels higher than him. And didn't Rebellious say something either last chapter or this chapter where it was like he's basically, he like overclocked or whatever, like he hit the
Yeah.
max level but then like kept going somehow, so he's really like one, yeah, because the two people you fought so far are both around 120 by now essentially. As for me, oh yeah, then Kazo cuts him off and it's like you can be level 500 or 1,000, it's all a blip to me. Yeah, so yeah, I wonder what level Rebellious actually is, like in those kind of terms. What if he's probably like 200 or whatever, or if he is like a no life and he's like 2,000 or some shit. Either way, next chapter will be fun to see if it's not on break. I hope it's not on break because I feel like everything's on fucking break right now.
Yeah. So I don't think I've ever. Has Shangri-La ever gone on break?
I think once or twice, yeah.
Yeah,
Once or twice in 257
almost 300 chapters, bro.
chapters?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
Work
counting
ethic,
like,
I guess.
I want to say there was
yeah.
a really long hiatus too, like, or maybe it was a translation team hiatus.
I think it was a translation thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, we were like catching up and they were like, we suddenly got like 30 new chapters or some shit. Well, yeah, pretty straightforward chapter. I don't really have too much else to say. You got anything else for this one, Traffy?
Nah, I'm skeeted.
What about you, Knox?
I'm Gucci.
All right, we'll have more to chew on next week, I'm sure. This was Shangri-La Frontier, Chapter 257, Sword Wolf against Lightning Flame Beast, Part 1. Now jumping into Ichi the Witch, 73rd Hunt, A Star Falls. And Knox, how you feel about this one?
It's great, man. It's a good one, dude. So I was wondering, like, okay, so Discaris is gonna acquire this butler nigga then?
I was wondering about that too, because she don't want that nigga.
Right, like, I mean, and Ichi didn't want Bakugami either. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And, like, he just had to kind of invoke that nigga in the previous chapter and didn't feel good about it. But, like, just because, like, they don't like the magic doesn't mean they won't acquire it. But it's just like, dude, like, this is the world hater's #1 glazer. Like, this is his lil nigga, bro. Like, his Uraume, basically. You know what I'm saying? And it's just wild that he was introduced however long ago. He's had like a significant impact on the story like since he's been here, but I just think that for a character that closely tied to the main villain of the series getting acquired after pretty much his first scrap with the protagonist team is kind of crazy. Like, I don't know if it's I'm not saying it's bad necessarily, but like the last thing I expected was for the right hand of the main villain to just be taken by a protagonist this early on.
Yeah, and I mean, he kind of like,
especially considering like we know that this is going to go on for a really long time if Iruma-kun is any kind of indication on how long Osamu Nushi series can go, and especially considering that this is like a grandiose like adventure story with no like main goal to achieve. You know what I mean? It's not like he's trying to like find the One Piece or find the Radiant or whatever. So like this could go on literally forever. You know what I mean? Like, and even if you have a goal, I guess it could go on forever too. But like, there's just no telling like how long the story could be, and it's probably going to be hundreds and hundreds of chapters, and the main villain's right hand man getting acquired less than 100 chapters in is kind of wild to think about.
Yeah, I think we're at least gonna see 250, like at the very least.
Yeah,
but I foresee it being longer.
I could see it. I'm picturing 400 for each.
Yeah, because like I don't know. A while ago, I was saying like there's a couple of manga. I'm trying to like figure out all the ones that I feel like will go on to be 600 plus manga, and it's like I feel like Shangri-La Frontier will be there.
Yep.
I feel like Iruma-kun would get there, and it's like I would like to see Ichi go on for a long ass time, but like 600, I don't know. I don't know if Osamu Nishi has 1,200 chapters, in the tank. Maybe because these stories, I mean, like I said, they're really like open ended. There's no like I gotta find the thing. So it's like they could go on for a long ass time, but like I don't know. I'd definitely love to see it, especially in Ichi's case, where it's like this could end up being, like the magazine's face after, in like 3 or 4 years. Like I'm assuming Kagurabachi is probably going to go for another like 4 or 5 years, but like I feel like this will probably still be going, and maybe One Piece will end. Like something's got to be, the new face of Jump once One Piece ends.
Right.
And it's like this is a good one. You got Ichi who can lead the covers, who would look great on the covers, and Discaris will look great on the covers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So either way, yeah, there's definitely something that can go on for a long time. So it is very interesting that, like you said, his right hand man is being taken out here, and the whole magic circle thing. Like he's looking forward to being in there and seeing like her despair and shit like that. But it's like he doesn't really know. I think he probably heard of what it's like, but this is one of those cases where it's like,
it's like
nobody
why
truly knows what the afterlife is like.
Yeah, but like why? Also, why would his character want, even if he wants to see, like if he is that evil and he really does want to see Discaris, writhe in pain and despair and agony. Why does he want that more than just continuing to help his master that he clearly is obsessed with and loves so much and is like a fanatic for? Like why would he stop? What he has going on with the world hater just to be acquired by Discaris and watch her cry sometimes. Like I don't fucking know. Like that's like such a weird motivation.
Maybe he's thinking he can weaken her by like picking at her like constantly and shit, nagging her and making her, hurting her where she can't run away. Like
yeah,
she's
you're
always
right.
there.
She did box world hater to like a stalemate the last time that they kind of ran into each other. So if this is his plan, is to get acquired by her so that he can weaken her from the inside and make it easier for World Hater to like finish that fight in the future, then that makes it feel a little bit better actually.
Yeah.
But
like my thing is like he doesn't like this is a case where it's like nobody truly knows what the afterlife is like. Like nobody's ever come back from dying in real life and be like, yeah, so this is what it was like. So like he doesn't know what the inside
wait
of
a minute, except for Jesus.
So he wouldn't know what like the magic circle is like, because like
no, as he just continues the thought, doesn't even.
Yeah,
that's the energy we need. Thank you. Yeah. Sorry,
but like, because like Ichi when a couple chapters ago when Ichi went like into his talk to Bakagami was like chained up. So like this nigga don't know that he's just about to be imprisoned. Like he thinking that he's gonna have free reign to like talk shit to Discaris, but she's gonna gag this nigga and tie him to a tree and have him facing the tree so he can't even look. I mean, same, but like, but in his case, like he's not even like she's gonna face him away so he can't even see the other magics in there fucking eating sushi and shit, like having a good time, being treated not so poorly by Discaris, but like. Yeah, he don't know what that shit's like. So him being, hype and going like, I'm gonna be terrorizing you from your magic circle. It's like, nigga, you got no clue what it's like in there.
Right. Shut that shit up, nigga. You going in a box.
Yeah, like she could tie your hands behind your back and make you fight in a magic gladiator tournament in there, nigga. Like you got no clue what you in for. Yeah.
For real.
So this entire conversation was beyond me because I was just under the assumption that she was destroying him.
This is the trial.
Yeah, the trial is to kill him after
after killing all the zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, like complete eradication, destroy, not destroy to be captured.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Too. Like not capturing him, like just breaking him and
kill the magic.
Yeah.
Right. So wait a minute. Like, is there a way? So you're saying that there's a way to kill the magic?
Yeah.
In a way.
Talking about it.
Yeah, in a way to just like pass the acquisition conditions. And then but then if you go beyond that and just like completely destroy every molecule, then he's just gone forever. What's stopping the power system from just automatically making it acquired once you've done enough damage to acquire him before you can burn out every molecule?
Yeah.
What's stopping the power system from just hard stopping the damage after the acquisition point?
the
before you
World
can
Hater
go to-
Magic
yeah.
staff
Yeah.
completely eradicates them, and
Yeah.
that's through the magic system itself.
Right. But she's not using that staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it said like if it's like excessive magic, they can do it.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Okay.
the 2 chapters ago. It says there's a number of ways to destroy a magic. One is destruction by an overwhelming power. Another is self-destruction by using their power beyond a natural limit. So it's like, at what point does the overwhelming power not kind of get cut off to go like, all right, you're a crystal now? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, literally.
how does-
that's
like,
my
if she's-
question.
yeah, like if she's, like what's the difference between being dead and mega dead in this situation?
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the power system is going to check for the damage required to acquire the magic, and then any damage thereafter like doesn't get like registered because you've already met one condition.
Yeah. And
Unless she like spirit bombs him and every cell gets evaporated instantaneously.
I also think like,
To be fair though, like how would they know that overwhelming force could kill a magic unless the greatest one did it? You know what I mean?
well, this was I think this was Chrono Weaver's own thoughts when he was like dying because of his power, though that like text was given. Let me see. It was when Chrono was dying, he was talking to whatever it says, like it's the narrator giving it to us. So I don't know. Like I guess the narrator is telling us, but I don't know if anyone in story knows. Discaris, I feel like would be the closest since she is the strongest. So she would probably be the one to know better than like any other character that you can like hit somebody so hard they die. But it's like don't they become like these magic stones? It's like I feel like we need a little more explanation on the process of becoming acquired and like what that process is like, because I don't think they like eat the stones, right? Like they have them like in a bag or something. So it's like if she hits him with enough force to put his health bar at 0, he's dead. He like the power system turns him into like a gem. Can she just destroy the gem, or like how does he go from being a person standing in front of her to being in her magic circle, which exists like in her soul or whatever? Like what's that process like?
So I feel like it'd be more like, I'll put this in Pokemon terms. Let's say you get a crit hit with the element advantage and it takes them from 100 to 0 immediately, versus like chipping them down enough
to be captured by a Pokeball.
Yeah.
So
but in this
that's
case,
actually
it's like, in this case it's weird though, because it's like, what if she just doesn't pick up the Pokeball? Like does having the stone in her pocket like allow it to exist in her soul? Like, cause she's got like a bag of gems. Isn't that all the magics? Like,
Well, so when they acquire the magic is when they get the gem, but if they completely destroyed it, there wouldn't be that gem. Like, there's not going to be a gem for Kizashi because he was completely killed.
I'm still curious on that, because like,
was Kizashi completely killed?
I don't know if he was completely killed. And I made a thread about that last week. I don't know if
did you? I didn't
saw
see
it.
that.
Yeah. So this kind of goes against what Traffy just said, basically. But since I wasn't in the episode last week, I couldn't really say it. But I was like, I wanted to make a very small thread, more specifically on what's next for Kizashi and Chrono, since I missed the podcast this week, didn't get to say it or whatever. But I was thinking before the last few chapters, I always wonder how this arc would end or whatever. What fate had in store for Chrono and the Octobomb magic. And we were talking about like how things would go and who would acquire who, because it'd be kind of fucked up to like acquire Kizashi and then turn around and have the same person acquire Chrono, because it's like having them both in the same space. Like, yeah, they're cool, they're like kind of friends, but like I don't think Chrono would want to be trapped inside this like Pokeball space for all eternity with the guy who was like kind of annoying but also like tried to kill his family, like his wife and fucking child. So it's like, yeah, they might get along in that space, but I don't want to be with this dude that tried to kill my family for all eternity. So it's like, let somebody else get Chrono, let somebody else get Kizashi. But then at that time, later we found out that you could just murder yourself, which is what Chrono did by overusing his powers or whatever. So it's like, okay, so that frees him up from having to potentially live the rest of his, spiritual life within somebody's spirit circle. But then he started getting to Kizashi, telling him like, you can be friends with the weak and stuff like that. And it started getting Kizashi's like mind going, and he was like, I don't really want to be here either. like this shit kind of sucks. My best friend's gone, and he's telling me to trust humans and stuff. And he started wavering, and that's when the reverser magic guy, the butler dude, pulled up and was like, "Yeah, you flickering. I'm gonna go ahead and take you out of here." But my thought is that he'll survive, and he will live on, and he will like voluntarily like allow himself to be beaten, so that he can become, fuel. Like he can become a magic that's been captured, so that he can assist in protecting this baby and looking, trying out what Chrono told him, like help the weak. And, Chrono gave his life to protect this child. So it's like, maybe I'll see what is so good about these humans, and, maybe allow the humans to use me as a weapon to basically protect the child that Chrono, gave his life for. And at the same time, like, the guys that I was sided with backstabbed me. Like, dude pulled up, stabbed me through the back, and was like, "We got no use for you." It's like, okay, fuck them. So like, try out the humans. That was my thought. That doesn't work if fucking Kizashi got fucking evaporated by the staff though. So we gonna see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think he's still somewhat alive, probably just like on his last, 10 lives or something. Because the dude's he had like 100 lives left. But yeah, the whole
and that kind of plays into the whole death system though, because like, the complete eradication, how does that work with the magic whose trial is to kill him so many times?
Yeah.
And does the World Haters staff just go through that rule?
Yeah. I feel like it'll be like kind of like a damage over time thing. Like the longer the staff was in him, it'll like drain his lives down to 0 or whatever. But like he might still be alive. Plus, in this chapter, we don't see Kizashi like at all. He's not like attached to the staff or anything. So it's like I don't know. I feel like they're saving that for later.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, we definitely need some explanation on how the conversion, the process of going from being alive and talking to being a gem and being like owned. Like, can she just not pick up the Pokeball and be like, "Yep, I'm gonna just leave that there"?
Let it drop to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, release them and shit. But yeah, overall, very good chapter. We got Discara stuff. Like damn near no Ichi at all in this chapter, and it's good to see Discaris was kicking. She ain't. I thought she would have had a moment where, I mean, she kind of did. She stood there and all the zombies crowded them. They didn't get to attack her. I thought we were going to see her in a much worse mental space, but we didn't. And that's cool too. Discaris is the queen,
Big
love her.
queen shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Have we seen these Discaris starred candies before?
yeah, I had to go back and double check because I was like, did her brother give that to him? But no, when after Ichi after the Bakugami arc, I think it was the Bakugami arc, or it might have been. I think it was definitely after the Bakugami arc because that was what happened immediately after the World Hater arc. But Ichi found out. Toge Ice told Ichi that Discaris had been like holding his money or whatever and wasn't giving him his money because she made the excuse and said like it's a lot of paperwork, it takes a lot of time or whatever. So Toge Ice gave him his like paycheck and was like, your civil studies fucking homework today is to go buy something with this money. And so he went out with Kamugi and they went shopping and he couldn't find anything. He asked Kamugi what he would do with the money, what she would do with the money, and she was like, I would buy a gift for someone or whatever. And then Ichi bought this candy for Discaris and gave it to her.
Oh, okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
and he was
I did
like,
not remember that.
yeah, it was like chapter 42 or something. So he gave it to her, and they were the whole like, there was a line of dialogue where I think Kamugi was like, sometimes it's difficult to say, exactly how you feel. So this type of thing will give you like an easy, excuse to get in there and say it. So he gave her the candy and was like, I just wanted to thank you for making me your family or whatever. And then they both like separated, and so that kind of leads into this. She's talking to her brother and she's like talking about how in the past she wanted to give up and stuff, and I wish I could trade places, or I wish I could have died with you and stuff. But then she remembers the candy and it's like, nah, I got somebody else to look after. I got I have more family now.
Yeah, okay. Like, I thought that was a sweet moment, but in context with her, eating the candy, that just makes it even sweeter.
Yeah, it was a great moment, great chapter. Discaris is just the hardest, man. Like when
Hey,
the
bars.
brother, Yeah, when Discaris was first, when Discaris' brother first popped up in this, my first reaction was like, she's just gonna hard body it to cut through that nigga. Like, you can't get to me. I'm just on another level. Like, I get it, but she didn't go that route. But she still didn't like break down and get into the fetal position and cry with her brother and get stabbed. So it was a good mix of the two. She allowed herself to, get emotional and stuff, but she didn't let it like break her. And she did what
Yeah.
she had to do. And
Hmm.
like it's really really good. The whole stuff where she's like, at some point I knew it would happen. I feel like in a lot of stories, the character who has like a past that could be brought up and used against them never expects it. But Discaris is like, I knew it would happen at some point. Somebody would like, I would face a terrible magic who would dredge up my past and use my brother against me, and I'm ready for it. It's it's cool because normally when that happens, it's like, oh, how did he know? How could they, know about my mother or whatever? And it's like the character completely breaks down and falls apart. But Discaris didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mental
My girl's
fortitude
strong.
on 1,000.
Yeah, my girl's strong. She real burly with it, man.
She's strong in so many ways, not just like, you know,
The strongest witch.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's not just a matter
yeah,
of
neither.
like power output or anything like that. Like she's strong everywhere. Everywhere you look, she's the strongest.
Intelligence,
Yeah.
charisma,
Yeah,
mental fortitude.
all that shit. Strategy.
Yep. Yep.
Some of the
Actually, maybe not. I mean, she did fail that shark, the ice shark, a trial or whatever. But still,
yeah,
I feel like that was more like cooking knowledge.
yeah.
We know she doesn't cook.
True.
yeah, but yeah, she cooked.
She
Wow.
cooked though. Yeah. she don't cook, but she be cooking. You feel me?
Yeah. And so yeah, reverser magic. I feel like we could have used a little more of him, but I think at this point it's kind of like trying to wrap this arc up. So his whole thing was like thinking that humanity would fall apart and like step over each other and fucking do whatever, humans would do whatever they can to come out on top or escape as long as I live, nothing else matters. But Discaris is like, nah, you're not gonna get that shit out of me. Yeah, she shit on him.
Shit
Man.
did on them.
Single Ichi the Witch chapter has not let me down so far.
Yeah.
The only complaint I will say is we still need more Gokuraku.
Yeah, I need
He got a little bit.
I need a good Gokuraku fight, one that's an actual fight.
His
Yeah.
time coming.
Yeah, and yeah, I can't wait to see what comes up next, man. Like what's gonna happen with Minnie and Madoka, and like is the baby just gonna be born, a 6 foot magic human? He's like, yo, I'm on a crew now. Like what's gonna happen with that? Like
Ugh.
there's a lot of potential and a lot of questions still, but I guess this arc is probably wrapped up. Probably next chapter. I'm still on the board of Kizashi being like barely alive and like them wrapping that up. But Ichi's not nearby. I think Ichi and them are all like at the crib now. So maybe she'll acquire it. I don't know. But yeah, the double page spreads here were bussing, and I don't think before when Discaris used Iskandar, she got like the fucking wedding gown on herself before, right? I feel like that's new.
Wait, let me go look.
Like she's got like the stuff, like she's wearing the clothes on her
Oh
body.
yeah.
I don't think that happened last time, but it looked good.
I don't remember.
Yeah, what's it called? The thing that the women wear over their face or whatever when they're getting married.
The veil.
Yeah. I don't think she had like a veil and stuff last time when she used it. Mariakas.
Yeah, maybe this maybe like Iskandar is the magic she acquired, and like you get different techniques inside of that magic, obviously, because like I don't think she used Mary Akaris
Yeah, no.
the last
I
time
think
she
that's a
used
new move for real.
Yeah, so that could be the reason why.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. Hashtag
Yeah.
conjecture.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if this has happened before. But yeah, banger chapter. always love to see Discaris, and we got a lot more than crumbs this time. So I'm looking forward to whatever comes after this. I'm assuming we're gonna jump into the next arc probably within like 3 chapters or so. So that's gonna be exciting to see what's next.
Yeah.
Ichi's what is this? This is Ichi's first official mission or second? Probably like second or third.
No, because I remember. No, this is first
Well,
one.
yeah,
first
this is the
official
first
mission?
one.
This is the
Yeah,
first
as
one
an official witch,
coming out
yeah.
of the yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So first mission a success. No fatalities.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But I think I'm squeezed out for this one. You got anything else for it, Knox?
I'm good.
What about you, Traffy?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, that's going to do it for Ichi the Witch, 73rd Hunt, A Star Falls. Now jumping into Kagurabachi, the biggest bachi, baby, we got chapter 114, Kunishige Rokuhira. And since I wasn't here last week, I guess I'll start. But I really ain't even going to talk about the chapter. I just got an idea that I want to pose and ask Ronin of his thoughts on this. Because y'all kind of talked about it last week too. So I have been under the idea that like about a year ago, I was saying that I think Chihiro's going to enter his blacksmithing arc and he's going to make new swords and they're going to be cooler than ever. He's going to surpass his dad and do something special with the swords or whatever. And some people have been giving me some pushback saying that my idea was that he's going to make swords that don't steal like the sorcery. And my thought process was that he was going to give one to Hakuri and probably some of his other allies because somebody like Hakuri is, he's obviously going to need to fucking watch his back now. He's got a big target on his back with Soga. And just, his powers, he can't like rely on fucking brain blasters and Isos for the rest of his life. Like he's got to have something, but I don't want him to like lose his sorcery. And some people were like saying, it doesn't make sense to lose a sorcery. That's not like something that could be, that they were saying, people were saying like that's not something that could be tweaked, but I feel like it's the writer's job to do that. Like I think it could be done, and if Hokuzono wants to say that that's a thing, then it could be a thing. But there was also talks about like what Chihiro's gonna do now. Is he gonna make like 2 swords, or is he gonna like fuse the Cloud Gouger and the N10 together? So I wonder what your thoughts are on this whole blacksmithing thing, and do you think we could see swords that don't take sorcery away or whatever? How do you feel?
Yeah, so in regards to the blacksmithing arc, I do feel like that's been a kind of a theory people have had in like various different ways in terms of like, what they expect Chiro to do. But I mean, yeah, Chihiro's always said that like he just wants to be in many respects like his father, reach that level and just kind of like master the craft that Kunishige did. So finally getting to see that, kind of like in some capacity is interesting. As for what to expect from Chihiro output wise, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little torn. Haven't put too much thought into it, if only because we jumped pretty much directly into part 2 of Kagurabachi headfirst with a little bit of a flashback. But I will say I'm like it's curious because for someone who is, I mean, in terms of experience speaking, an amateur with like the blade, we've seen a lot more of his swordsman skill than his blacksmithing skill, despite the fact that he's actually worked with the latter a lot more. So just from that perspective, I'm kind of curious to see like what we get there. But he's also kind of stacking up against what is essentially like an unparalleled genius in the verse. I don't really expect him immediately, or at least for a pretty long period of time, to be able to make from scratch something that Kunishige couldn't. Like, in terms of not taking away the sorcery, I don't agree with the sentiment that like it's impossible. Nothing that Hokuzono has put forth really determines that. It's a limitation that we know is the case currently, but I wouldn't say that it could never be the case, or rather like that we could never see that. I don't. It's
You mean
tough,
like
right?
the sorcery thing, right? Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
the sorcery thing. Yeah. It's technically possible. Do I think that Hokuzono is going that route? I don't know. It feels like the only way you can get that off, and it makes a lot of sense, is if the enchanted blades themselves are weaker. Like they just have like a lower amount of like like a force behind them or whatever. Just
Yeah.
because think about it and you give it to like you have a Curry essentially possess three separate forms of sorcery, and it's like, damn, that's a scary dude. You get him trained up or whatever, or God forbid, you give someone like Hiyuki one of those,
Ooh,
and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? So it's like, and so I don't think that like practically speaking, or like from a narrative sense, it's impossible. But I do feel like Hokuzono is probably inclined not to do that, just because it would make you be like, well, damn, why doesn't he give this character that or this character? Just because it's like there are some pretty sure, like, bro, put an enchanted blade in Shiba's hand, see what happens, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit.
You N10 with teleportation, bro. We might see something shake because these blades enhance like the spirit energy of whoever holds it, right? Shiba, we've already kind of seen him fight and like dance around people who are using the Daten Seki to like amplify themselves, sorcerers that are already pretty competent. It's like Shiba ain't an enchanted blade if we be in dead ass, but he's as close as like a sorcerer gets aside from like a zombie. Like him, like it's like to me, you would have to really say that Soga is just like the kind of different that wouldn't even matter for.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just don't know. I just don't know, right? Um, I feel that like in terms of enchanted blades and doling them out, right? I'll be honest. I think we're getting two. I think the notes that we see, new N10, new Cloud Gouger. I think we're probably going to see two separate blades.
Yeah.
Chihiro has no relationship to this guy, so I don't know if he would get it here. But I feel like character-wise, we could get a Natsuki like Enchanted Blade
I was
shout.
gonna
I
say
feel
that.
like, yeah. I feel like him feeling like he got left out by his brother, like Uruha kind of stole that show from him. If Hokazono is interested in making Natsuki more of a character and actually following that narrative all the way through, we could see we could see some interesting things there. It's like it's the world is Chihiro's oyster right now in terms of like enchanted blade management. I will say he's got to probably get his hands on some more Daten Seki.
Yeah.
Um, just like material wise, he's only working with like the remnants of blades. Maybe he can like analyze Tobimune, see what's going on there. We know he's got the same like level of like intuitive vision as his father did, but it's real tough just because like Chihiro is just an unknown element in the blacksmithing department. We don't know how he stacks up to his father. In all honesty, while we know Kunishige is a genius, it's kind of hard to put that in relative terms because we haven't seen too many blacksmiths in the story thus far, and that's why I feel like this most recent chapter is pretty good for.
Mhm.
It's giving us the potential to see some scope and scale for like what this variety looks like.
Yeah, I'm so glad that
Yeah.
we got a new or another world-renowned swordsmith in the story in this chapter, and I couldn't help but like immediately, like even from the panel that shows the back of his head. I don't know if you guys went here too, but I immediately thought of Kill Bill, Hattori Hanzo. He looks just like this nigga, bro.
I didn't. I can't remember where my mind went with it, but I thought of something, but it was like something silly. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
I like Google that nigga real quick, and like if it's been a while since you've seen Kill Bill, but especially like with like the perfect preparation adaptation that we got in this season of Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I've like been going back through Quentin Tarantino movies, like kind of like since then. I just watched Death Proof the other night. Like I'm on my Tarantino shit right now. The very first thing I thought when I saw the back of this nigga's head, I was like, "Is that Hattori Hanzo?" And then like, and then we get to the end, and it's like Subaru Urita, and it's like, oh, okay. I mean, of course they're not gonna call him Hattori Hanzo or whatever, but like I'm pretty sure that nigga in Kill Bill was a sushi chef. Like,
Yeah, I mean he has that's what that like garbage form your head, but like
yeah,
also I mean Hokuzono is a massive fan of cinema and of Tarantino, right? Like it's
Yeah.
like that's not crazy to think that there's some comparison there. So having Kunishige like using this as a visual tool to be like no, he's surpassing the blacksmith in movie pop culture that like everybody you think about that like a fictional sort of like display of that skill, and it's like
yeah.
okay, cool.
Tarantino
If
made
you
us
know,
care
yeah,
about Japanese swordsmiths in Kill Bill with Hattori Hanzo in the West.
And so it's like, yeah. And so Hokuzono kind of being like, all right, bet. I'm gonna visually remind you of him, probably get really into explaining how good this guy is, and then be like, Kunishige was in a league of his own. And I think giving us another a historical example of a blacksmith who wields an enchanted blade is cool, because it maybe is going to give us the seeds for interesting Chihiro interactions, right? Because like obviously we know Subaru, was an enchanted blade wielder,
Yeah.
and so kind of getting to see that, and maybe it gives us something to expect from Chihiro, or even things to like look out for, limitations that this guy may have run into, or particular insights into his enchanted blade, because he understands what forging it required. There's just a lot of different, like, there's a lot of directions that Hokuzono can go with this, a lot of ways in which he can kind of like flesh out just different directions that not only like the story could go, but like certain characters, and how far we're gonna get into it, right? Because Kagurabachi very obviously is going to like Hokuzono has a very obvious love and like reverence for swordplay, right? It's very like central to how the story is like presented and things like that. Now we're gonna get to see what I feel like is the other side of that coin, which is not just them being used in battle, but them being created. And this is to me an opportunity for Hokuzono to show us how deep into the like granular technical aspects, or even fictionalizing it, he wants to get. Right, we're getting fictional quick draw techniques. What,
Yeah.
are we gonna get fictional smithing ones? I'm curious. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's a good notion.
I was kind of wondering that too, because like a lot of people just kind of, when I was talking about the whole like taking the powers away thing, I was saying it could be like something within the technique, and it's not like I don't think everything that has been done with the swords is just the fact that he can just see very well. I think there's probably a little more to it there. So like if there's some sort of like fictional, sword crafting technique, something that he does that's different from everybody else, besides being able to see like the molecules and stuff, I think that'd be cool. Um, so yeah, Subaru, man, we finally got. I think this is the first time we've actually seen his face outside of like the poster that had all of the swordsmen together. What do you guys think his deal is? Because like we're looking at this and it's in the past. It's about 18 years before the main story starts, and at least 18, probably about 20, because this is before the war, I guess. And so he's one of the three top like world renowned blacksmiths, and so I'm guessing that with that means he isn't a swordsman, but he becomes one. So when I first read this chapter, my first thought with seeing him was that he he either has like some sort of like beef with Rokuhira, because like Rokuhira Kunishige comes in and kind of like outshines him, or Kunishige makes a sword like so beautiful that he just like he has to take it. He's like, I can't. You make swords that are so like incredible that I can't just be someone who makes swords anymore. I have to like use this. I have to get blood on this blade with my own hands. So like he kind of like
Or even
worships.
going more into that, it's just like, yo, you're so tight. Like, what am I? I don't need to make another sword if you're just gonna be making them. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm gonna feel weird making swords that I know are worse than yours or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it could ever be like that. I don't know if that's how it works or whatever in these kind of fields. But like, he could just be that nice, where he's like, okay, well, I quit. Then I might as well just wield it.
Yeah.
You know,
It just
it's interesting, because I kind of got the chance to talk about the chapter a little bit earlier today, and just get like a lot of like differing opinions. One of them kind of brought up he's pretty clear disinterest with sword making. At least like out of bait, like he's like, dude, I got sushi to make, bro. What do you want from me, man?
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, this national treasure. Whatever, bro. I got like, yeah, I got sashimi to cut up. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like the contrast highlighted was just like, if swords are tools for killing, and like almost like protection via violence, it's like food is providing like that sustenance for people, right? It's interesting, this is a character who seemingly has that same skill and proclivity to make weapons of mass destruction, obviously within the context of this world. um very heavily prefer providing and sustaining other people. It seems, at least if we just take making sushi as like a general like desire for making food and things like that. I'm really curious to see what this character is all about. Because like I said, it feels like there's infinite possibilities right now, and that's interesting. That's fascinating. But a story's only going to be so long. A character's only going to get so much screen time. So it's like Hokuzono, which direction, or which possibility, which thread do you want to pull?
Yeah, I wonder how much of his like actual character we're gonna see in the like present time story, since he's about to get clearly highlighted in the backstory. So like once we assuming this backstory kind of goes on for about like a volume or two, like if he gets a lot of time to shine, does that mean like when we see him in the present time story that he's not gonna like be very focused on, or like is he gonna just get a short arc or something, or is he gonna be like a major player now, and it's like we'll get to see him a lot in both time periods, and like he's got this
I
big
hope
scar.
so.
So yeah, I hope we see more. I don't want him to just kind of like be one of those characters that like dies in the arc that they're really introduced. That always sucks, but yeah, he's really interesting. He's got like this big ass scar on his face, and his fucking eye is gone. So it's like he's clearly been in battle, unless that's like a burn or something. But like he's been in combat, I would assume, and then he starts blacksmithing to make swords, and then he wants to stop doing that to make sushi. It's like in the movies when they go and find the guy like Wolverine in the bar, and they're like, "We need you for one last job."
Go
And it's
fuck
like,
yourself.
yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. He's like, he dragged me out of my sushi hut to fucking work on a sword. Like, I got to get back home, bro. Like, I got customers and shit. So, yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see like what his whole vibe is, and how Kunishige kind of shakes things up. So just skipping back to the front. I just gotta put it out there. You guys think this kid's gonna be fucking the Haibara of fucking
He,
Kagurabachi?
yeah, you want to see him
Uh,
in the president, bro. It's up for him.
yeah, he's out of here like last year.
He getting folded in under 3 chapters, yeah.
Yeah, over under. I'm giving them. I'm giving that nigga the 3.
Giving
It's
him the
just
3.
mad funny when you introduce a character like this, because it's like either bro is just like not relevant in the current time, or he just got absolutely smoked.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, bro, Hokuzono, we don't see this guy anywhere, so it's like, why?
What
What?
happened to dude?
Yeah, what reason could we possibly not see this guy that was like stuck to Shiba at the hip? Is like probably he got fried.
Yeah.
He might even be his death might even be the catalyst for Kunishige maybe taking this shit a little more seriously.
Yeah,
Um,
because he made a sword that he's using.
Yeah.
So it's like they do be playing that like into the guilt angle, where it's like I gave someone a weapon or whatever, even though he didn't directly give it to him, but like this guy took a weapon into combat that I made for him, and then that got him killed. So like I need to either lock in or quit, because what I'm doing is dangerous.
yeah, man. Yeah, it's up for him.
We're gonna find out he's
Unfortunately,
alive, but he's like a quadriplegic or something.
yo,
He got all his limbs cut off.
he's the dad from the Oblongs.
Yeah. So, how you feeling about this one, Traffy? You've been kind of
Yeah,
quiet.
say words, nigga. What? I don't think you said anything.
You shot.
Well, I was just letting y'all talk it out.
Check this guy out.
It's
No,
giving.
so-
Yeah, go ahead.
It's giving what?
Nothing.
Oh, Knox?
I'm gonna hold
It's
my
giving
tongue.
polite,
on
yeah.
that. Yeah. I'm gonna be polite. I'm gonna let you go.
All right, so I'm just gonna jump around a little bit with this. Back to Yato's point in regards to Chihiro, like making a better sword.
Oh no.
I don't really see that happening, because I do agree with Ronin here. It would be hard for Chihiro to make a sword that would surpass his father's. Albeit, I do think that Chihiro himself has training in regards to blacksmithing, because he grew up around his dad doing it. I'm sure he's learned a large part of it. But the issue here is that the core element of not being able to use sorcery is the Datsenseki, and I don't. Not unless they find like a material that would suppress it to where a sorcerer could maintain their power, or something similar that would suppress the ore in the blade. I don't see that happening.
So just to throw my like another piece of coin in there to why I feel that way. The last thing we see Chihiro say before we don't see Chihiro again for the next like 10 weeks. Chihiro, the final thing he says is I'll surpass you. So like his goal is to surpass his father. And in any story where like you got like a generation or whatever, like Naruto, the new generation surpasses the old. It's like they gotta get stronger in some
Yeah,
way.
you don't
So,
say that for no reason, I guess. Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
in what way can Chihiro surpass his father other than like what other way could it be? Not saying that there is no other way, but like the only thing I can think of for him to surpass his father in is to make the swords better.
Or to make a sword that could truly wipe out all of the enchanted blades.
Yeah,
But
because like
N10 is that, isn't it?
yeah, that's what you got to think about that too. Because
That was
N10
the
was
goal
created
of
with the
N10, yeah.
the purpose of that blade was to like defeat the fucking
But
Shinichi or whatever.
the
but it got
Shinichi
fucking
destroyed N10.
cracked. Yeah,
Yeah.
and even Soga, like when he saw Chihiro at the blade and like heard what Chihiro was saying, he was like, damn, like his face kind of turned up like this nigga. He made a sword to beat me, and it's like he still lost.
Yeah, so even if the original purpose of the N10 was to defeat the other enchanted blades when Kunishige created it, clearly he failed in that. I don't know if it's a failure on behalf of Kunishige and the quality of the blade, or if it's a failure on Chihiro's part for not being the kind of swordsman that could wield the N10 properly enough to do what it was made for. I don't know what the answer is on that yet. Like the latter makes the most sense because Chihiro's still pretty green in this field compared to like everyone else that he's gone up against. But like let's say it is the former though. Like let's say it is because Kunishige just failed in that attempt for that goal. And then now with the death of his father and the death of Samura and like all of the stakes and all of this burden that he's kind of carrying in regard to saving the world from this threat and everything that he's gone through, this new fire that's been lit under him and all of this newfound purpose and ambition that he kind of has to achieve this goal, could that bring the quality of sword that could achieve that goal out of Chihiro as a swordsmith, thus having him surpass Kunishige in that way? I can see that happening in the writing, personally. Is he gonna do it like right now? Like after this like first like crazy L? Like, or is this something that like is this first attempt at him smithing just to get the N10 back and get the Cloud Gouger back going to be effective in the next stretch of storytelling in one way or another? Absolutely, I definitely think that's where it's going. Is he going to be able to accomplish that like right out the forge after the last arc, and then going into like all conflicts moving forward? Like, is he there yet? I don't know. He might have to go back into the forge one more time before the end of the series to actually do it for one reason or another, and then it might feel a lot better. I don't know.
I'm thinking they'll do a test run.
See,
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see the backstory ending and then him coming out. The chapter opening and Chihiro just being like,
I've done
Terminator.
it. I've surpassed you, Father.
Yeah.
Let's end this story.
And it's like one day later. Yeah. It's like, we need a little more time, I think.
Yeah.
See, I think a big aspect of this, though, is while it may be the sword's fault, it shouldn't have been broken during the fight, it is also a matter of just a difference in experience between Soga and Chihiro. So even after he finishes, rebuilding these swords, we would need to go into some kind of arc that would allow Chihiro to train to become a better swordsman. Because even if he makes the sword better, it's not going to change the outcome of the fight if he just gets mogged by Soga.
And he needs his spirit energy volume to increase, I want to say, because I feel like Soga got like way more aura than this nigga.
Nigga can fly, yeah.
Yeah, like this nigga has like way more, like a bigger like mana pool than Chihiro does. So like I feel like that plays a role into it as well. A lot has to happen.
It's almost like I feel like one of us might have made like the comment or analogy or whatever before, but it feels kind of like Chihiro is, starting his Pokemon adventure, and he's in Pallet Town, and he's just got a Mewtwo, and it's like, nigga, you're not ready for all
Yeah,
that.
like
Like
you're
you
not
kind
gonna
of
go
gotta like
walk
level
down
up.
the Elite Four like fresh off
Yeah.
the fucking nah.
It's not like you don't know how to control that thing. You gotta like go get some badges and shit first. So like he gotta get his experience up because he's only been doing this swordsman shit for like what 2 years. He ain't been doing this long. Like 2 years, probably not even like accurate. Like less. Like I don't know, but he's definitely not been in the field like Soga has. Like Soga wiped out fucking nation, and the nigga was a
Oh.
genius with the sword at 18.
I can see the blacksmith arc for Chihiro, kind of focusing on a few points. One, making Inten stronger. Two, the act of blacksmithing is going to work up your physical muscles. So I think, it'll help him become physically stronger. But on top of that, even though it hasn't been elaborated on yet, I think that, turning the Datsenseki into an enchanted blade probably requires like spirit energy control so that you're not like blowing up the ore while you're working on it. So
Right.
this blacksmithing arc may increase his spirit energy as well,
Or just
and
give
his
him a
control
better
over it.
Yeah, exactly. And I just want to say, like, I don't think he makes the N10 stronger this go around in the forge. I think he just fixes it and brings it back to a usable state. I think he for some reason, I don't know what the reason is yet, but sometime later on down the line, I think he goes back into the forge to strengthen the N10 in some kind of way later. I think he's just trying to get it back to normal right now.
I'm seeing a structural similarity to him learning, like him kind of going out there and winging it with his with like his the enchanted blade, like basically just working off the back of that, and then kind of getting like swordsman diffed. I feel like Subaru is like not a bad character to, if not directly mentor him for an extended period of time, because maybe that's just not the type of series Kagurabachi is,
Yeah.
to at least kind of represent another level for Chihiro to tap into. Because I mean, it's like this, right? We're being introduced to an alive, presumably, right, swordsmith of this level, right? It's like cool. Chihiro, that's the best teacher you got aside from your father, and we know he's gone. So
Yeah.
get to learning, bro.
What do you
He's
think the
also
chances are that, like, after this flashback and we go back into the present time with Chihiro working on the swords, what do you think the chances are that Subaru, like, walks up on him? Like, yo. Like, during, like, his time in the forge right now.
So
Like, do we know where this nigga is at? Like...
Shiba was like guarding him at his ramen
Oh,
shop. So
that's right.
I
That's
do,
right.
yeah, I do think that like what Ronin was saying is going in a good direction because with this chapter, Shiba tells, I forget dude's name, Haibara. He tells Haibara that he tells him that like Kurashige, when they were 12, he started a brutal apprenticeship as a swordsmith. So what if like he was working under the other guy? But like Subaru, maybe he was working under Subaru, but maybe like for some reason, either he like quit working under him, or Subaru was like, you got it, go on, kind of like do your own thing or something. Like for some reason they like split ways, and Kunoshige kind of started doing his own thing without like supervision of Subaru, and so like they meet up again, and they work together again as like swordsmiths. But then later on in the future, he approaches Chihiro and is like, I taught your daddy how to, I'm gonna teach you how to do this shit. I taught your daddy, but he was a natural, so now I'm gonna teach you and show you like the little things that like maybe he didn't, have time to see. Because not everybody can be a good teacher. It was like Gojo. They said he was a poor teacher or whatever. So it's like maybe even though Chihiro learned like from his father, maybe like his father wasn't a good teacher, but maybe this guy is.
Yeah, they've already kind of like gone into the like hard work and determination versus like genius talent relationship in this story already with Hirohiko's character a little bit too.
Yeah.
So like that's definitely a theme that Hokuzono's not shy to explore.
Yeah. See, when they first were talking about creating a new intending Cloud Gouger, I was personally on the train of like either he was going to combine the two, or you know, I did agree with Yato when Yato said, you know, he'd create two, but I was more of the thought that like he would use both of them. And I think my brain was trying to recognize a pattern that I had seen before in something like Bleach, where Ichigo's sword gets broken, and then you know his new form now has two blades. But
This is
with this talk today, my thought is more, it feels more justified for Cloud Gouger to go to Natsuki because his brother wielded it and he
Right.
still has beef
Yeah.
in the story.
Yeah,
So I
no.
do think that is the best outcome for that.
Yeah, he's got
Yeah,
unfinished
yeah.
business. Nigga, I felt so fucking stupid after the last review because we were talking about like Chihiro is either going to like combine the two or he's gonna, you know, reconstruct both of them and then wield both of them. I didn't even think of the idea that he would fix both and then just give one to somebody else. And then like someone like I literally never said it. I don't think you said it either. Maybe you did, and I just like
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
like-
might have mentioned
like
Yato saying,
yeah, like nigga, what? Like bro, obviously that's what he's gonna fucking do. I'm sitting here like, why would
Yeah.
he wield two swords? Like blah, blah, blah. Like nigga, no, other niggas
Yeah.
need that shit. Obviously,
That's what my
Natsuki's
thoughts
right
were.
there.
Yeah,
And then someone in
my
the
thoughts were
comments said that,
always-
and I was like, oh my fucking god.
Yeah, I mean, Chihiro used a short sword before, so like he's used two swords before, but he's not a two swordsman.
Wait,
He's
did he
not
really? He has
wielding-
like a wakizashi.
Yeah, he used to always like he
Oh,
during
oh,
yeah,
he
all the
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he's like gonna wield two enchanted blades. Like that's greedy, dog.
Yeah,
that's
that's-
No, that's mad greed.
Yeah.
yeah, and it's like what kind of like strain would that do on somebody's like body wielding two like enchanted blades? So like my thought process was always that he would make maybe like two more enchanted blades and give them to his allies. So like Natsuki's a good one. Like I thought Hakuri was a good one, and like you said, Ronin, you were saying earlier, like when you were talking about answering my question about it, I do think if that were to happen, then it makes sense to nerf the swords a bit, not make them crazy, because like we can't have Hakuri doing the storeroom, doing Isos, and having a fucking volcano sword. So yeah, it's too strong to give Shiba, you know,
Yeah,
a
'cause I'd be
fucking
like-
earthquake blade.
Yo, Hakuri, low key, bro, I fuck with you, but I'm not giving this to you, bro. Shiba or
Right.
Hiyuki, hold it. Because the
literally.
living enchanted blade, getting an enchanted blade sounds like some funny. It sounds like something goofy. Because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead and you know what? I don't even need to fight Soga. Hiyuki, you go
Yeah.
ahead, go handle my light work. Like,
Oh,
you know what I
God.
mean? Like, yeah, here's N10. Go do something with it. It's like, yeah, that's kind of. I have to imagine that's not possible. Or rather, not even not possible or not. I have to imagine it's not likely that the Enchanted Blades will have the same kick if that's the route Hokuzono decides to go. Simply because you have like a bunch of characters who have like mastered sorcery and reached what we can imagine to be the peak of the verse when you exclude Enchanted Blades.
Yeah. So I think they'll just end up being something like to fit gaps and fit like characters fighting styles where they don't have, you know, like defenses and stuff. So Shiba, if he's all offense, maybe he get like a sword that makes it so that like, you know, he doesn't get fucking one shot if he's stabbed in the back or something to build him up where he lacks.
Yo, wait a minute. What's that one skill in Kingdom Hearts that you need to fight Sephiroth in the Platinum match in the Coliseum that like makes it to where like if you would die, you get like 1 HP instead? Second chance or some shit.
Fuck if I know.
That's what that reminded me of. Sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, that's traditionally in a lot of stories, like RPGs, you got abilities like that where it's like, if you would die, you survive on 1 HP.
Yeah.
So I could see, you know, swords using, people using swords to supplement their weak areas or whatever like that, like Shiba having something. But yeah, like they would definitely have to be weaker because you can't give Shiba a sword that summons tornadoes or some shit. Like you can't do that. Like the nigga already, you know, beating ass and teleporting people off into the fucking sky and dropping them. So it's like,
Yeah, but Traffy made a good point in the last review. He's like, Shiba didn't even try to engage Soga because like the nigga can fly, and that's like Shiba's entire fighting style is just like teleporting you like a mile up and dropping you. So like, how does that work against? I want to see this nigga fight a nigga that can fly though now, because it's like he's got to have something for that, right?
We saw in earlier chapters, like he used his powers for more than that. Like he teleported like a chunk of the fucking funky haired dude, his foot away. Like remember he had the dude tied up.
Oh
Stomped
yeah,
on it and shit,
yeah.
Yeah.
I could
can't
also
imagine.
see him doing like some primary Lotus shit where he like goes up and then grabs him like and then fucking seismic tosses like him to the ground after like a couple teleports to build momentum towards the ground. Yeah, that'd be dope.
We gotta see why Yura was glazing him because he called that nigga like the peak sorcerer. So it's like we gotta see why that's the case, and I'm guessing we're about to get that here. So in this flashback arc, the fucking what do they call him? The Soga clan like caretaker,
The Guardian.
guardian. Yeah, what the fuck? Like, okay, he's the guardian of the Soga clan, and fucking Akamura is here. Like, what do they need you for? Like, this he's got to be tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to see him on some. What's that dude from Mob Psycho? Shimazaki. I need to see him on some of
Yeah.
that time,
Oh
man.
my god.
Come on,
Oh
That's-
bro.
yeah, bring that.
That
Yeah,
shit would be nuts.
Okazono, show me something, bro. Come on, please.
He's got something for
I need
us.
that.
He's got something for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
No, this
tell me.
flashback.
Tell me, how did Rokuhira end up with a sugar mama?
I feel like they were probably childhood friends, and then it was one of those cases where it was like the girl from the group has like a super important like family like lineage or whatever, and it's like, all right, time to come back home and be a princess. No more, running with the fucking hoodlums in the neighborhood, and she like got taken out of like the friend group or whatever, because even Shiba's like, if you come with me, you'll see Chiaki. He's like, whatever. It's like clearly there was something there where they were probably all like together at some point, maybe running around in the slums or some shit, and she was one of the like she was Nunu in ATL, where it was like she was actually rich, but she was like hanging out with the hood niggas. It's like, bro, get the fuck out of here, dog. So
You don't even
I
need to
think
be
it's-
doing this right now.
yeah, it's like you don't even need to be out here getting dirty. You from a rich family, yeah.
I was eating noodles with no packet. Like nigga, you don't even need to do that. The noodles all come with a packet.
Yeah, like, that's all you, bro. Yeah, so. And I'm definitely curious to see that and what this like priestess or princess, role entails. Like what's she like? And
What is the Soga family like?
Yeah, because Akamura Soga is a fucking nut job, and Kunishige, I guess married his sister. So
It's gonna be like
what's this
Gojo, and we're
dynamic
just gonna
like?
meet no other Soga clan members.
Well, the sister and the brother, but
Wait.
like
Oh wait, do
so
we-
Akamura
we know
and
them?
I'm guessing
Okay.
this. I'm guessing that's his sister.
Hmm.
That was my thought.
It's Soga's sister.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he doesn't confirm it, but like,
We're assuming they
yeah.
have some history, so she ends
Yeah.
up being Chihiro's mom.
yeah. I'm wondering where this all goes because, like, we know based on what white hair Yoda dude from the Kuminabi, he was saying that Soga and Rukihiro were like thick as thieves, like they were homies. So like, their relationship, I'm guessing we're gonna see it grow over this backstory, and I guess it can't be too rough if he ends up having a kid with the dude's sister. So it's gonna be interesting. We got a lot of family stuff to get through. We got Shiba, and we got to see backstory stuff. So I'm hyped, man. This backstory is gonna feed fucking generations. I just hope it's I hope it's at least a volume or two.
Yeah.
Feels like it. Feels like it's gonna be a bit longer for sure.
Yeah, because like it's kind of taking the similar route to like it's reminding me like when the guy at the end is talking to Subaru, it reminds me of the dude talking to Toji, trying to get him to like go and do a job or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna just bet on the fucking horses. It reminded me of that. And then we got the other characters like fucking Shiba and Haibara and Rokuhira goofing off or whatever. So yeah, the vibes are there, and everybody's just, it's fun. I like Rokuhira. He's fucking crazy. He's passing out, not eating. He's got fucking open cartons of eggs in his fucking fridge that he ain't throwing away. He's just passed out on the floor starving, and he can smell the yakisoba that Shiba ate on the way up here. He's a silly guy, man. He was always silly. We knew that before he died. But
Is he silly or is he just ready to die by this shit, my nigga? Like this nigga like lives and breathes this shit, my nigga. This is like the most determined character I've ever seen.
yeah,
But he is pretty silly too.
he's a silly guy, man.
Yeah, he's,
Nigga was talking to goldfish.
but he really lived this life though.
He lived it.
This nigga opened his fridge and all of his 3 grocery items are just rotting away. It's like, bro.
So, I guess before, I don't know if you guys got any other thoughts, but I just wanted to, Knox, you weren't there for that episode, and Ronan, I want to see when we got that extra chapter with Soya. I saw a lot of people were not happy about that, and
Why?
I thought it was good.
What were they
my
saying?
thoughts, people didn't fuck with Soya for for multiple reasons, like the way he treated his brother, and also like just people were mad that like we took a break from the main story and just other shit. But I thought it was cool. To me, seeing Sawyer that way felt like a good way to let us know that he is going to show up again at some point later in the story, and maybe even like save his brother from like a big bad, like Soga like maybe is inches away from like cutting his head off, and Sawyer like appears before he realizes like, oh, I like actually beat the shit out of you, but maybe he's a different person. Like he lost his memories, he starts to slowly get them back, but maybe there's some change in them, so maybe he doesn't go down the exact same path of like beating the shit out of his brother, but he's not like great, but like he become kind of like Toto and Choso, how they had like a change of heart once Yuji came around. Their whole like personality shifted once something happened or whatever. I'm thinking that Soya will have a similar moment and kind of join the good guy side, or just not be a scum of the earth. So I just wanted to know how you guys felt about that chapter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like the Sojo, extra chapters that we got, like, and I feel like even less so with Soya than it did for Sojo, because like those Sojo chapters definitely gave him some like post-mortem pathos to a certain degree. Like it kind of gave us a little bit more insight into like who he was outside of the story that we saw him in the actual Kagurabachi storytelling that painted him as this villain who was very like malicious and very fucking homicidal and all of that stuff. And it didn't really take any of that away from Sojo's character in the extra chapters, and I don't think that it really takes that much away from Soya in the extra chapter that we got for him, even though that he has amnesia and like kind of like forgot like how big of an asshole he might have been to Hakuri. I don't think that the amnesia will cure him of that, and I don't think that that's what the point of the extra chapter was personally. I mean, that could end up being like the case if he re-enters the story. I think it was just like the Sojo chapter. It was just giving us a little bit more time with the character to give him a little bit more writing outside of how he was introduced, so that we can just see another side of him and not necessarily like make any negative aspect of his character like suddenly okay or whatever. So I guess I don't really. Yeah.
Those bonus chapters kind of just told us that Sojo has a bit of the tism.
No, for real.
Yeah. I mean, the difference with the Sojo one, though, is like he's dead. And so, like, nothing could possibly come forward. Like, nothing new could happen. But with Soya, we could see him. What were you thinking about that chapter, Rona?
I did see people complaining about it the week it came out. I think that's mad funny just because it's like, I don't know, bro. The one of the antagonists of the series is like a bad person. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely viewed it more in like a relatively isolated kind of like gag thing. That being said, I did like it. I thought it was cool. Soya being able to surmise a majority of his identity based on like the limited information and memories he had, I thought was pretty sick.
Yeah.
It makes him out to be like an extremely intelligent character when he's not obsessed with Hakuri.
Yeah.
I liked to me this is like a nod to that fucking to the web swinging scene with in the Raimi movies. But when he's trying to figure out how to shoot the ISO out, I thought that was really sick. That was just like a cool little. I was like, I see you, Hookazone. I see you. Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. To me, it feels like a reinforcement of the scumbag traits in this chapter. When the little fortune teller is like, oh my dude, you're evil. You're grimy as hell, and he literally reawakens part of his identity just by like hitting not even people. He's just like, nah, I love whoever it is that I love. I love beating on them, and it's like, yeah, this is like an actual crazy person.
Yeah.
Going
Yeah,
back to what you were
like
saying about him like attempting the ISO and like trying to like
yeah.
figure out how to do it, dude, that reminded me of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man when Spider-Man like
That's
was
what he
like,
just said.
wait,
Yeah,
oh,
We
did I?
just said that.
Oh, did I?
This nigga
Wait,
clocked out.
no, I must. I must.
Ronan said that.
Wait, I
That's
must
a-
have
that's a-
fucking zoned the fuck out and not heard
Yeah,
that. Okay, never
I just
mind.
said
Nah,
that. Ronan-
honestly, bro, I thought you were doing a bit for a second.
Oh no!
I was like, oh, okay, he got my ass. I was like,
No,
what?
I don't know, bro. I swear, I don't know how I didn't hear that
Nigga
shit.
clocked out.
I
man.
literally must have just lost like 30 seconds of time because like all I remember you saying was him like attempting the ISO and being like, "Okay, I see you, Hokusono." I must have completely missed everything before that
Okay,
or after
Grandpa,
that.
let's get you.
Yo, seriously, is this like senility? Like, what's happening right now?
It's over for you. Yeah, that shit
No,
was dope,
sorry,
bro.
Ronan.
You good, man.
You blew it,
good.
yo. He's never coming back.
I fucked up.
Yeah, you cooked, man. But yeah, that shit was great. And like the moment, like you were saying, when he was kind of like figuring out who he was, like he woke up, literally saw like the remains of the fucking the auction around him. It was like, huh, so I must be, like I must be this guy or whatever. I'm a Sazanabe. Like he was figuring it out. So he pieced that shit together so quickly. Like the dude's a genius. When I see that, like what I imagine, like I probably go too far with it, but I'm just like super far ahead in the story, and I'm like, okay, this means he's gonna pull up in the same way that like when Yuji was like facing like fucking Kenjaku in Shibuya, and then like before shit hits the fan, Choso pulls up and he's like, nobody fucks with my brother. Like I'm imagining something like that, maybe more in a Vegeta kind of way, where it's like Vegeta will pull up and be like, nobody kills Kakarot but me, type of thing.
Gets his ass
So-
beat.
Yeah, so I can see Sawyer like pulling up and be like, nobody beats my brother's ass but me. And it's like, what the fuck are you even doing alive? Like, I can see it being a thing. But yeah, I saw people hating on that chapter, and I just wanted to see how you fellas felt.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Cool little chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one last thing that I got for this chapter, though, you guys might have more, but I guess this cover page kind of hints at I'm gonna figure out his name, but Haibara dude, not Haibara. He's got some kind of like sonic boom kind of things coming from his sword. And I imagine at this point swords are not, enchanted, because Kunishige ain't start, really twerking with the blades yet. So I'm guessing that this is his sorcery. He's gonna do some kind of like sonic sonar wave attack or something, and then he's gonna, just the swords are just gonna be normal swords. From
Where do you
here.
see that
It's
shit at?
The first page. Like it's the first page of this new
Oh,
chapter.
yeah.
So I'm guessing his sorcery is going to be something kind of like, sonic boomy or whatever, and then he'll just also be a sword nigga, because we don't got volcano blades yet. Kunishige ain't been cooking, so
We don't got Oppenheimer swords yet.
yeah, like nukes ain't here yet. So, but yeah, I think that's all I have for this one. You got any more thoughts for this one, Traff?
Nah, nothing else for me.
What about you, Rona?
No, nothing.
All right, Knox.
I'm all squeezed out.
All right, so that's going to do it. The boys are all skeeted. That's Kagurabachi, chapter 114, Kunishige Rokuhira. Now, jumping into the final covered manga segment of the night, we got Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, chapter 25, A Bright Future, and also the finale to this sequel. Let's see, Knox, how you feeling, man?
Oh shit.
Yeah, you just came back from the shitter. It's your turn, baby.
Yo, chill. God damn.
Get in there.
All right. Color page is bussin'. I feel like this is like feels different from other color pages that this is like inside color page where he like walks into Kugisaki's room and like feels different than the other color pages that we've had for some reason to me. Actually I think I have hold on, yeah, go ahead.
It's because it's using standard colors.
Yeah, okay.
Whereas all of the like actual cover pages, they use like more of the orange and the green that you're seeing in the current cover photo.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not like normal colored. I don't know how to explain it exactly.
Okay, well, yeah, that explains it then.
So something before you jump more into it, I had a thought with that too, because in the previous like 2 chapters ago, remember, I think it was just me and you, Traffy, we were talking about it, and you were saying you were confused about the whole like what happened with Maru, like what he was doing, and
Yeah.
I used that color example, and then I was mad because so he was saying that like he changed the color of their soul. So like for example, if you say Yuji and the sorcerers were blue, then Mahito, Curses, Kalians, and Remelians or whatever, Sumerians, they were all like orange. And so what my interpretation of that, what he did was he made it so that like their soul, he changed the color like the humans so that they wouldn't be like opposing the cursed spirits, and cursed spirits wouldn't attack them. And so now, if you look at chapter 23, Yuji was blue and Mahito was orange, and chapter 24, Maru is orange, which is the same color as the cursed spirits or whatever, and the Kalians. And now on this final color page, Yuji is orange. So he
Yeah.
changed the color of like all the fucking humans or whatever. That was how I looked at it. But like,
Yeah,
I
give
could
me
be
all that color
off.
theory shit, bro. Fucking, I remember I was watching like a Breaking Bad like color theory video essay one time, and like, have you ever like seen people? Like, I know you're a huge Breaking
Yeah.
Bad fan, Yato. You seen that shit? That shit
Yeah,
blew
yeah.
my mind. I had no idea that Gilligan was even doing that shit in the show. So I
Yeah,
love,
real.
yeah,
Now you wanna add to it. You can say that like in that color page where it's Yuji and Mahito, because Yuji's kind of like straddling that line between human and curse. He's got that orange in the hood, but he's
Yeah,
predominantly blue. Yeah. I kind of rock that.
yeah. They
Kinda rock with it.
Gege and was it Iwasaki was cooking on this shit, man.
yeah. They got ideas.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah, I don't know. I think it's cool that he took the hood off and we see his like face without any kind of obstruction for this chapter. I think it's great that we did the same for Nobara as well. I thought that what I thought that they were going for towards the or what he was going to do towards the end of the series or by the end of Modulo, because every previous character from the original series has kind of had their face hidden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maki, Yuta, Ui, Nobara, Yuji. I thought we were going to see all of their faces in HD by the end, and I'm kind of sad that we didn't.
yeah. It did surprise me that we didn't like at least see the people that they mentioned like Toto and Hikari, because they like talked about them, but that was it. I thought we would like at least see kind of like, when they be like, oh yeah, my friend Toto, and then like a little image of them will be like in the background or whatever to show that like they're talking about that person. We didn't get anything like that either, so it's like
Yeah,
characters got mentioned and never we didn't get to see what they look like in fucking 70 years later timeline.
Yuji Iwasaki has one more chance to put those drawings in a volume extra or something, or I'll never read anything he does ever again. So
Yeah, like going on this strike. I feel it.
For real.
Yeah, no. Curious what the general consensus is on this chapter though, because I thought it was cool. I thought it was like it wasn't a bad chapter to end things off on. Pretty tame. What you would mostly come to expect from Gege to end a manga, at least based on I don't know how we felt before. I feel like most things are kind of like wrapped up. We get to see what the plan is moving forward. From Yuji's perspective. Yeah, just like a overall I rock with it. It's cool. I felt like one of the moments that I really did like a lot. And good on Gege for doing this, because this is a character that literally has no screen time, no reason for it to have any like emotional weight, but it just does. When Tsurugi and Yuki's mom is like giving birth to is the greatest honor of my life. That serves as like a really, really nice contrast to the way Maki's mom talked
Yeah.
right before she went to go fight Ogi. I was like, damn, that's fucking. There's a lot of shit still wrong in the JJK universe. I mean, that's what a lot of Modulo is kind of covering, but Gege does do a good job to kind of show that like there is that generational improvement that I would imagine like Maki and Yuta and everybody would have been striving for.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, "Damn, this like it hits for sure." But like this moment would have been crazy if like it lined up with the episode where Maki like wipes out her family, and like we went from like seeing that moment with Maki and her mom on like Thursday, and then 4 days later we see it here in Modulo and the manga. That would have been crazy because they be doing that sometimes, but like obviously it just didn't line up that way. But yeah, this moment definitely hit.
I think one of my favorite moments from this chapter, and it's one of those things that's really just on the nose, but screw it. Sometimes you can like on the nose stuff, but it's where it's saying like when it comes to countries or ethnic groups, the individual is often overlooked, but people don't exist for the sake of a country. Countries exist for the sake of their people. And it's one of those on the nose moments that a mangaka puts into their series to reflect what's going on in the modern day. Like, they try to spread this message of positivity, and I always fuck with it.
Yeah,
So
there's
it was
nothing
one of my
like
favorite parts.
there's nothing inherently wrong with on the nose personally. Like at the end of the day, like always comes down to like execution. Like audiences don't want to feel like they're being lectured or that like the author is like kind of breaking immersion to kind of like stare at the audience and like tell them how to think or whatever. Like that is where it kind of like gets weird. Um, but something like that line of dialogue was very Alan Moore coded. Like it reminded me of like V for Vendetta. Like people shouldn't be afraid of their governments. Governments should be afraid of their people. Type shit. Like it felt a lot like
Yeah.
in that vein, and that's what I thought of when I read it. And I thought that was good. I immediately screenshotted that page.
Yeah, all in all, like Ege did a good job here. I'm not gonna say it was a perfect 10, but I don't think it was bad. I think it was. I give it personally like a 8.5, maybe a 9 for a sequel. I think it did a lot of things that like you would probably want from a sequel. Like it wasn't long, but he followed up on a lot of things and told us basically how the world was going. Years after the Culling Games, and we still see that people are being used. Like that whole like army plot line, like it was still being used here. Like we didn't see the army, but we found out that people are being kidnapped and abused for fucking power, reasons and shit like that. Like they're making batteries out of people and shit, and just a lot of stuff that it closes out. Like JJK ends on a good note or whatever, but JJK sequel, it ends with the cursed spirits and shit being like taken care of. So it's like it's a good little closure. It wraps up everything that didn't get wrapped up. If there was any like loose ends or whatever, anybody going like, well, what about the curses? So it's like it answers those questions.
I think the greatest praise I can give Gege and Modulo is the fact that while it is a sequel series, it's written in a way that you could just pick up Modulo and read through it, and you'd still understand everything that's happening in a story. You're just going to miss out on some of that much deeper context. Like, the only thing I could think of that would go outside of that is when you start involving Mahito. But even then, the story explains, hey, this is what this character is. This is what he's being used for. You just don't have the backstory between him and Yuji, which isn't necessarily needed for the story to be complete. The only thing that kind of weakens that is the pacing issues that we talked about with characters kind of just disappearing and reappearing in places. But otherwise, it is a standalone story that can be read without the context of Jujutsu Kaisen, but that context helps expand the story even more.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it was a good idea to do the sequel. Like I saw a lot of people on Twitter and stuff going like, "Well, what exactly was the point of this?" And I
Mhm.
mean,
They think because like certain things from Jujutsu Kaisen like weren't answered that they wanted answered, that means that there's just no point to this continuation.
yeah, or people like upset that like Yuji didn't box with the Burr, which I mean would have been cool, but like we didn't need it.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
the point isn't just to show, characters fighting and like give
it,
you,
it
fan fiction matchups like
exactly. It would be cool, I like I'll be the one to put um the kind of face the meathead allegations head on, right? That shit would have been tight
it would have been
because
so
when we
sick.
saw Yuji do some cool shit, I was like, damn, that's really sick. It really does feel like a lot. It feels like 80 years past with some of the stuff he's doing. That being said, it just absolutely is not necessary to the point. Like I honestly, um, it was kind of at a point where it's like I don't know, Yuji himself seems not like a poorly placed character here, but just feels like an interesting odd insertion. And I've come around to it, especially with his last chapter, because it does feel like there's a little bit of an arc there, in terms of that, in terms of like that self-isolating mentality he had. You know, people are tired of Yuji, da 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 da. I feel like if I were to lay one criticism, that's less of a case for this chapter specifically, and more of like one for Modulo. It's that it's extremely short run, yet like protract, like it's long, it's significantly longer than any one shot, right?
Hmm.
But it is shorter than like a regular series. Kind of puts it in this position where it's allowed to set up a lot, um, but follow through on only a few different things. Like I feel it would have been quite interesting, um, to explore, you know, Yuji coming to the conclusion that he did, that he was like this like kind of choso floating between what it means to be a human and a curse, being scared of what other people would think of him for being immortal and all of those things. Is it necessary? No, because he's not the main character of Modulo, right?
Right.
He's not even really part of the core cast. But I feel like when you offer up a character that was obviously so essential to the main series, and you show him acting in a significantly different way, it's not really unreasonable to wonder why, or want a greater exploration of how he gets to the conclusion. It's like, Gege, I rock with where Yuji starts, and this is honestly true with like a few things in Modulo. I rock with where it starts, I rock with where it ends. I do feel like you jump between those a little quickly, but at this point, it almost seems like a stylistic approach that Gege has in some respects. Um, but yeah, I think like meathead stuff aside, there are some like problems, or rather like, you know, preferences I would have with Modulo specifically. But I'd overall consider it like a really good sequel. You know, I won't throw too much shade to any particular series, but you know if you rock with them, right? Like there's plenty of worse ways to do a follow up to a beloved battle shonen. I'll be
Yeah.
honest.
So, in my opinion, in regards to what you were saying about Yuji, I think Yuji in Modulo serves as a parallel for Gojo, and that's kind of apparent. Um, but he's completely different from how Gojo operated, and I think this is because Yuji was trying to learn from what he had already seen. Because Gojo was super active in, the Jujutsu Society as well as with his students, whereas Yuji took a step back and was like, he has these, albeit he is far less human than Gojo, he is still far more human than Gojo in terms of his emotions and his mindset. And so that included separates him, but puts him on to, hey, if I don't get involved with Jujutsu Society, there will be no threats that'll appear that will require them to evolve. So he was okay with things being the way they were instead of things being better, which is something Gojo was fighting for. I just like his inclusion may not be fully fleshed out, but that does feel like a purposeful choice to serve as a parallel to his sensei.
I think the ages definitely play a lot into that too, because like by the time, at this point, Yuji is already like three times Gojo's lifespan or whatever, and it's like during Gojo's life, like yeah, he was the strongest, and he had this role to play, but he also at some point, like inside, he had to have some sort of feeling where it was like he has to leave the world, a better place when he eventually goes. But for Yuji, it's like he doesn't have, at least until now, there was no like expiration date on his life, so he could kind of, he's probably had millions of thoughts like this where it's like I should go and do something and kind of like fighting with himself, and it's like with his sort of lifespan he has time to kind of like take a break and then decide when to come back. So it's like he lived way longer than Gojo, and Gojo did the things that he did in his limited lifespan because he knew he was going to die. But Yuji is talking about being around for 200 or 300 more years, so it's like taking a couple years off like that, a couple decades off, is probably just like taking a week off of vacation from work in his eyes.
You
Yeah.
saying that actually like kind of just reminded me of another reason for that parallel. So when you're reading Jujutsu Kaisen, you know, Gojo never feels on the same level as everyone else. He feels, you know, he says it himself, I alone am the honored one. Like, that is him. He is this different species. But even with the way that Modulo set up Yuji, he never comes off as that. Like, he always feels like he is just another one of the cast. And then we get to this final chapter, and he specifically says, I'm not like everyone else. And so it's those things that really surprise me, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you just had a lot of time to think and come to these conclusions and stuff. So I think all in all, it is a good sequel. The only thing that my only complaint really was that I feel like it probably should have had like one or two more chapters for, the reason I mentioned before in previous reviews, where it was just like I felt like it was kind of jarring to jump from the Dabura and Yuka and the Tsurugi and Maru fight to like that fight ended, and then the next chapter we have Yuji and Maru like walking into the fucking spaceship, and I was like, when did Maru even meet Yuji? Like, how did this?
Yeah.
Like, I felt like
Yeah.
I felt like there could have been a little more, like a couple of pages, like maybe Yuji walking around the block and going like, "Oh shit, you beat him!" Like, okay, I'm gonna throw him in the truck and get him to the hospital, and like, can you take me on board your ship? Show me around. Like, there could have been something to give us that in between, but we kind of just like warped between places like really quick, like 5 times, and it felt really weird. And so that, along with there was something Ronin said earlier, I just felt like there could have been a little more time given to those moments if we had like another 1 to even 3 chapters. It doesn't even have to be a whole nother volume, but just a little more time to show those things. Not saying you got to pad them out with boring fluff, but like make the things look like they make sense.
Yeah, 'cause sometimes like I'll even say, I've evolved as a JJK fan beyond like, okay, Gege's never gonna give us that filler. That's fine. He's not interested in doing that. That's cool. Whatever, right? Stylistic choice. What chapter was it? Chapter 20, 22 or something? Or no, it was chapter 21, where it's just like, all right, Gege, if I'm reading the chapter and be like, and Maru just being like, yeah, my technique brought you here, bro. What? What's your,
Yeah.
bro, what does your technique do again? It does kind of what I need it to do. Okay, bet. For real. And it's
He's like a small scale
like,
reality warper, isn't he? Like,
yeah. It's the comedian if he could control it.
Type
Is what it
shit.
feels like.
type shit.
Which is like, it's not that it's a problem to have a technique on this guy. I mean, like I said, we've seen it, but it's just like, damn, Gege, you gonna let me catch my no catching my breath. Nah, I fuck with it. I fuck with it.
Yeah, it felt really weird that like some things, like I felt like the pacing up until that point was perfect. I didn't have any complaints, and then suddenly I was like, oh, why is Yuji walking with Maru to the back room to like where how did we what? Like,
Yeah.
that was the only thing that really threw me off. And then like I felt like the following chapter kind of did it too, but it wasn't as bad. But like other than that, I think everything was fine. But yeah, this is a good chapter. I did think it was weird that maybe not weird, but it was funny that when Yuji's talking to Nobara, he's like, after consuming the death painting wounds and hovering in that space between a curse and a human like Choso, just thinking about what everyone else must think of me. She never met Choso, right? Like what?
Nah, couldn't have.
Yeah, I don't think she ever.
And also that to me is like, I know it sounds like I'm complaining a lot, not like really issues I have. It's just like when you bring up certain things, it necessarily brings up questions. Because like, I wonder what people would think of me. Yuji, why do you think any of these people give a shit?
Yeah.
Bro, they knew you as the vessel of the king of curses. You think they care that like you live for a long time, bro?
Yeah, it's kind of silly. Like, I got Godzilla inside of me, and I saved the world, but like I don't want people to judge me because I don't get old.
Yeah. I mean, that has been kind of explored in a lot of stories though. When you have like immortal characters, it's like pretty normal to like see exactly what Yuji is kind of afraid of here happen with characters in other stories that approach the same theme. So like I get
I guess
it,
it's
but yeah, like there are definitely people in stories like I've read like UQ Holder, where like everybody is like a different kind of immortal in that story, and you definitely get characters that are just like, God damn it, bro, I'm like 99 years old, I'm gonna die in like 3 days, and like you're still fucking 18 and shit, like fuck you.
yeah.
Like,
I
you know
guess
what
it's
I
like
mean?
the envy that he's worried about. Like, oh
Exactly.
man, I'm getting wrinkles and shit, and they
Yeah.
look over, it's like, fuck this dude, bro.
Yeah,
He
you
still
see
look
that.
18.
Yeah, you see that shit in other stories, but in Jujutsu Kaisen, I don't think Yuji had
Like,
any reason to worry about that. Yeah,
Toto's just gonna hit him with the brother. You're still the same as I used to know you. It's like I don't know, bro. I feel like you just got some good ass friends, bro.
yeah, so for real
And
though.
I get that. I get that. Like self doubt doesn't necessarily mean you're making the logical decision.
Right.
It's just like part of me is just curious as to like that. And Gege does a good job. You got to leave some of it to the imagination. Can't give us literally everything we wonder about. But it's like half complaint, half praise for Gege writing something interesting enough for me to be like, damn, I want to see more, I want to see more, I want to see more. And this is the more. Like this, no, I sure shit didn't know we were getting a sequel. So like,
Yeah.
this is the more that a lot of people would have wanted, and like in typical fan fashion, at least when you're a fan of something good, you want to see more of it still. So.
Right.
For sure.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get the Jujutsu prequel next.
The prequel.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
the
show
prequel,
us,
prequel.
give us that Heian area, man. Period.
Yo, that
fucking
would be the
arc.
best place to go next, bro.
That
Kashimo,
is-
main character. I
bro.
don't even think he was Heian, but still.
No, he was.
No, he was like
back in
400 years ago.
Nah,
Heian
yeah,
was like
he was
1,000.
400 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But still,
I mean, this,
nigga, give me
this is
any of that.
definitely this series was definitely one of those things where it's like people complain about not getting more like writing and filler moments and stuff like that, and then we get it, and then they're like, what was the point of this?
Yeah.
So you can't fucking please these niggas, man.
Yeah, just because you didn't see the matchup you wanted or get like a specific question like answered doesn't mean there was no reason to do it at all. Like, and this just goes back to like, complaints that we've had about, people, talking about Jujutsu Kaisen for a while. It feels like it in the original series it did action so well that the meatheads didn't couldn't detect any writing beneath the surface level. Couldn't fathom the idea that character writing and thematic shit could like happen inside of action. You know what I mean? So then you get like this like huge idea that Jujutsu Kaisen is just fights and like no substance. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people say that kind of shit. You know what I mean? And it's that same kind of person that can look at like I can go through all of Modulo and say like what was the point of this? You know what I mean? Like it's there. For some reason you just can't see it, and you won't let anyone tell you what it is either because you've already come to this conclusion. And
I already made my jokes.
Yeah, I already made the jokes. Like I'm not gonna backpedal now. I'm gonna die on the hill, and it's like okay, fine, but like you're in public saying these things.
Yeah.
Like we see you what you're doing right now. So
Yeah. Yeah, I got a couple friends who still haven't started it. They were reading JJK, weekly, and they haven't started it at all. One guy was like, he doesn't like the art. I was like, the art is busted, nigga. What do you mean? Like,
ugh,
I guess because it's not the gay style, but he was cooking with the
Sure.
art here.
Yeah. I was worried at first because I was just like, man, I fuck with Gege's style, man. I'm kind of sad to see it go, but Iwasaki, they did their thing. They earned their stripes. The color pages went fucking crazy. There's also a lot of them for such a short story too.
Yeah.
Felt like we got like 20 color pages and this it's like damn, okay, you kind of went crazy. I had a good time. Yeah, the art proved to be cool. It's funny too because it hasn't been that long on the grand scheme of things, but it feels like it's been forever since like people, myself included, were worried about like, damn, bro, we focus on aliens. That feels a little weird, and now it just feels like, nah, it's just like part of the JJK extended like little universe now.
it makes sense
That's
that
fine.
a limited series like Modulo would get 1,000,000 color pages anyway. It's like, bro, like the fucking adaptation for Jujutsu Kaisen right now is like $1 billion budget per episode. Like
Yeah.
everybody fucking loves this fucking story, and and it's gonna be short anyway. So like, why not give it 1,000,000 color pages if it's only gonna be 3 volumes? Yeah.
Back about the art real quick. Iwasaka is basically Miyama.
Oh
Miyamura.
shit!
You mean
Like-
damn, I said Miyamura. You Mira?
Don't ever say that nigga's
That
name
was a
on this
mistake.
channel ever again. Are you shitting
No,
me?
no, Miyama from Dragon and
Dragon and
Chameleon, because
Chameleon.
I do
Oh,
think he did a very good job replicating Gege's style.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely like, you know, the core identity of Jujutsu Kaisen's art is still there in Iwasaki's work, even if it is, for all intents and purposes, obviously a completely different art style.
Yeah.
But it is still Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's
still see
that's
it.
really impressive.
Yeah, you can still see it in a lot of stuff like the fingers and shit. Like it's still there. It's just it's not the exact same, and it's fine.
Yeah,
It's cool.
and it shouldn't
I
be.
honestly rock with it. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing I gotta ask. So we got Yuji, we got Nobara, we got Mahito, we got fucking Toto Crumbs, we got fucking Hikari Crumbs, we got Ui, we got a bunch of characters. Ronin, did you think we would see Megami?
No,
Didn't we know he was dead?
Did we?
we didn't. But
They
I'll be real.
Implied it kind of, didn't they?
Like, well, yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what,
as of this chapter.
in this chapter, yeah. He's asking if I thought we'd see Megami at all. Honestly, I'll be honest with you, not really. But that's also because to start, I didn't think we'd see any other original characters aside from Yuji. Like once Marmalade Boy hit the like, damn, he let me escape or whatever. I honestly thought it was,
Marmalade
like-
Boy? Wait, who is that?
That's the dude with the Shikigami, like the old dude.
Yeah, from like chapter 3.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay,
The one
yeah.
that was, like,
Yeah,
that
the
was, like,
old nigga
burying
with the
people,
giant
yeah.
needle. I'm fucking
Yeah,
crying. I
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about that Marmalade shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because I can't really say I expected it. You know, I was talking to Cream talking on the pod or whatever. He was like, he had asked me last week. He's like, "Oh, bro, how do you feel about Megami not being in there?" And I'm like, "Bro, I'll be real. This is my personal opinion. As someone who loves Megami and has had a hard time enduring. I mean, y'all know. Bro.
I know you were going through it, boy. Shit.
Constantly, bro. But like, as someone who loves Megami and would like any chance to see Megami in a manga, it's sort of like I feel as if there's not really much of like if Gege, the only original series character that I feel like got expanded on in any capacity is Yuji, right? And I'm like, unless we were gonna do that with Megami, I don't really care if he's in here, to be honest with you. Like seeing Nobara's cool, knowing Toto's alive is cool, seeing Mahito, okay. It is what it is. Like, would it have been nice? Sure, but I'm not really like upset about it. I done seen the like, God, Gege hates Megami, da 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 da, and like I get it. It's funny, get your jokes off, but I'm like, we see like a lot of characters. But yeah, it's tough too, and it's tough more because like, damn, I'm upset that the conversation is so pervasive that one of the thoughts I have when I read that is, damn, bro, I hate to log on Twitter today. Like, now I'm mad as hell that I read something, see like implication that Megami's dead, and think, man, I gotta see the jokes, man. I gotta see the jokes. There's no other option. Yeah, because that's really what the downside is for me at this point. I'm like, bro, I'm cool, Megami. If you live, like, no one said he went out tragic. No one said none of that. They were just like, yeah, bro, he's probably just dead. And it's like, okay, cool. He died of old age. Hey, bro, I hope you lived a good life. Like, if that, but nah, they won't let him rest. They won't let me rest. So, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been crazy if this last chapter, Nobara and Yuji like pulled up to his grave, like, sucks that you ain't around, man.
Yo.
Yeah, nah. I gotta feast on the implication. Like, nah, Megami's still alive. He just out there. He just traveling or something. I don't know.
Wait, hold on. I need to see the dialogue between Yuji and Nobara when they talk about Megumi and see if they use the word if.
Yeah, where is it? I forget.
I am pretty sure they do.
Wait, where do they?
Oh no, they don't. Never mind. It's times like these I wish Fushiguro.
Oh, okay. I thought the Bro, if the
Yeah, no,
last dialogue with yeah.
in the fan translations, they do hit the "if only Fushiguro were here at a time like this."
No, really?
Yeah, in the fan translations, they do hit the "if." I have to think, nah, that's one last twist of the knife. They did that don't even say that in Japanese. They just
Right.
added that shit. Nah,
They
man.
did that just to hurt you.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They don't care. They don't care about the mental state.
Crying, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Yep. So
I think it's cool that
was-
Panda's still around. Makes sense, though. But yeah, I just thought that was like an interesting
somebody-
addition. It's like why would he age normally?
somebody said that Panda, if somebody like eats Yuji, because Yuji talk about coming back as a cursed object, so somebody said like 300 years from now, Panda is gonna be Yuji's. What was the ice chick's name? Yeah, they said that they were gonna be like them when Yuji comes back and Panda is like still around.
Yo.
I love how they just bring Panda into the story to be an emotional support animal for Yuji.
Nah, for real.
Yeah.
He didn't need to walk in holding his head like that though. Like this is like this nigga's still alive. Like this isn't actually a stuffed animal, you know. Like,
Yeah, mad disrespectful.
like this is your fucking like classmate, my nigga. Like
Yeah, y'all are like the same age and everything. I'm like,
yeah,
that's your boy.
y'all in the
Yeah.
same grade, bro.
I did think this line where he says, "Next we'll hunt down every physically gifted individual with a heavenly restriction who'll be born from now on and map out their bloodline" was interesting because, like,
Is that gonna be like like that's interesting to think about because it's like the whole reason why heavenly restrictions were a thing is because like there was like a greater universal kind of I don't want to say like entity or whatever, but like it knew that like people are normally born with cursed energy. So like if you didn't have any or you had like a really low amount, it like was kind of like, okay, well then if you don't get that, then you can have this. But if people are just like not going to be born with cursed energy anymore, or if like that's just like not as much of a thing as it was, like why would it still give you that body or give you a heavenly like restriction if it knows that, you know, like it's not like I don't know how to say what I'm
Yeah.
saying, but
From what I understand,
it's like you got to get something if you can't get this, but now no one gets this, so like why give them that? You know what I'm saying?
yeah, from what I understand, it's like it's like you still can't get rid of it entirely. So like these heavenly restriction people are still anomalies. And it's just like let me see real quick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in chapter 23 they talk about it a little bit, right? It's like only Maki and Toji are the examples of characters that like don't be physically harmed from that.
Oh,
And
right,
heavenly
because then
restriction-
you have Muta, yeah, who had a
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
different one, yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like I think it's like if they would have been, I imagine, right? It's like if they would have been born to like a particularly strong clan, or like naturally would have had the potential for a lot of cursed energy, say someone like a Yuta, then because they're not going to be born with cursed energy, that happens, and that's why I think they have to map out the bloodline specifically because it's probably going to be a genetic thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
After a certain point. Yeah, that's how I see it at least.
Yeah, that, and then they cover the whole conflict where it's like eventually humanity will find out about like them, you know, ripping cursed energy from everybody, and they're gonna blame the aliens. And so that Yuji is like, nah, you can just say it was me and say that I forced them to do it, so that like people don't start like hating on the Sumerians or whatever, and you know, trying to kick them out and shit like that. So I thought
Dr.
it was good.
Manhattan type beat.
Yeah, it was nice to cover. I feel like in Modulo he covered all the bases,
Yeah.
and it's really all I could ask for.
It
so.
felt as thorough as it could for something that was only ever going to be 3 volumes anyway.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to whatever the guy does next. If I wonder if they're gonna work together again, because I think I did see like an author comments or something where it was like look forward to what we do next. So maybe they'll work together again. But either way, you know, I'm always looking forward to mangaka returning and cooking up again. So see if this is Gege's Yu Yu Hakusho, and if we're about to get a hunter after this.
Hey. Need
I'd be
that.
down for
But I
that.
think he wants to do
Yeah.
that idol manga, doesn't he? Like superpower idol manga.
I don't know about superpower, but yeah, I think yeah, he said something about wanting to do an idol series, but who knows? Things change. You might. I'd be down for it either way, but um, I don't know. Before I guess I'm running out of things to talk about. Did you guys at the end? What do you think is happening here? Who you think is walking?
Isn't it Deborah?
That's what I
That's what
thought.
I assumed too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it was like I think it's his horns probably hitting like the doorway in reference to like what happened before.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he tries to like walk the, it's like, which is like it's a mad funny thing to end on. It's like, all
Yeah.
right, bro.
Like, what's up, baby? I got another
You were-
horn with me this time.
Oh man.
Yeah, 100 light years away, big bro. It was that deep.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Yato told me to save this for the podcast, but apparently there's already people making art of Deborah just destroying this woman.
Oh
Like,
my god.
That is fucking crazy. I hate everything about it. Please let me know who drew that and like maybe even send it to me so I can like block
Bruh.
that person and just like never have to experience that or interact with that again.
Same.
It's okay. I
there's-
sent it in the panel focus group chat.
Beautiful.
all
Thank
right,
you. I'm
cool.
gonna go there
There's
right
no way
now,
that's getting
actually,
bookmarked by me.
Yeah, I gotta get this out of here immediately.
Yeah, no, but I saw somebody go like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, I feel like it's kind of obvious that it's Deborah because Deborah was kind of love at first sight with this chick, and I mean she's fine, but
Ooh,
also
shit.
Deborah when he went back to his crib, he was like, I killed the fucking dude, the chief, and I don't really care about this politics shit, being a leader. So y'all do what y'all want. I feel like it makes sense to come back and get your woman,
Yeah, man.
So Jujutsu Kaisen 4 is going to be about Deborah and Bread Lady's kid. That's going to be the MC.
Yo.
So, yeah, I think I'm squeezed out for this one. If you guys got anything else, let me know. How you feeling, Traff?
Wait,
Wait. Oh, brother.
here's my long shot theory.
Oh god.
Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo is the prequel to Dandadan. Deborah and this chick's son is Okarun.
Bro,
And then,
fuck
Oh
you.
my God.
similarities
Oh,
between
bro,
curses
y'all were
and the
not
yokai.
lying.
Look, I'm cooking.
I'm gonna have you
Yo.
assassinated.
The kitchen is closed. This brother is delusional.
I'm gonna hire someone to kill you, I think.
I'm cooking.
No, we're fucking through. You never speak
Dubious
again.
food. Dubious food, my nigga.
Dookie on the plate,
Theory
yeah.
master.
Oh,
That
fuck
shit
no.
Shige was trying to eat. Holy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. The nasty patty from that episode of SpongeBob.
Yeah, no. So anyway, anybody with serious things to say? Knox, you got anything else?
I'm good.
What about you, Rona?
No, that's it for me.
All right, well, that is gonna do it for Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo. That was the finale, chapter 25, A Bright Future. So, since we had the end of Jujutsu Kaisen, felt very fitting to have the Broken Ronin join us. So, want to thank you for coming along and talking with us and yapping with us for the past couple of hours, man. You got anything to say to the people again? Shout out your channel and stuff like that.
Hey, I mean, firstly, I appreciate you having me on. It was a good discussion. I really did enjoy it. Yeah, like I said at the beginning, you can pull up, watch me on Broken Ronin. If you're interested in a lot of JJK stuff, that's what I mainly focus on. But yeah, otherwise, appreciate y'all having me on. Love to come on again sometime in the future. So appreciate y'all.
Hell yeah.
Yes,
good
sir, yes,
good to
sir.
see you and chat with you again, bro. Do you have any upcoming projects that you're excited about that you're working on right now?
Let's see. I got some more like full potential videos. It's a series I just really like working on. It's just nice fanfic, just talking about because Gege makes a really cool power system, right? I like exploring it to its absolute limits. So just anything in that respect, if that sounds like an interesting thing to you, I'd probably say that. Otherwise, just kind of business as usual over there.
Hell yeah.
Okay. So that's going to do it. Good night, everybody. This was The Broken Ronin. Until the next time. All right. Before we get up out of here, we got to do this thing, chapter of the week. So for me, I'm going to spoil it. I'll go first. I feel like I normally go last on chapter of the week, but mine was probably Ichi the Witch. So I love the chapter so much. The scars, Queen, Slay, all that good stuff. She had fucking beautiful double pages. and she won't take no shit from no man. So what about you, Knox? What's your
Oh
favorite?
yeah. Well, first and foremost, I just want to say Happy International Women's Month. You know what I'm saying, or
Yes, sir.
Women's History Month, and it's definitely Ichi the Witch,
Yes,
for
sir.
me as well. And Descaris stole the show. She did everything that she needed to do from top to bottom. It felt great, and yeah, I mean Modulo ending was fire. Um, but like Ichi, I don't know, Ichi just did more for me on that front. Kagurabachi had a great chapter too, and it seems like they're setting up like, a lot of the Seitei War flashback still. It was great to see like Kunishige, as a youngster and get a little bit more of his character. But yeah, Ichi just edged those two out a little bit. So
Yeah.
gotta give it to the queen, man.
Okay. What about you, Traff? Are we going for a sweep?
Yeah, it's an Ichi sweep.
I knew it would be.
The more Discaris, the better. But just it kind of reinforcing how strong she is as a character more than just her battle power. It was just a great and emotional chapter.
So, Ichi Sweet Baby, happy Women's Month, happy Women's History, happy Women's Year. Shout out to women, yeah. All of them. You're beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Benny. So, that's going to do it for chapter of the week. And I'm going to go ahead and read some of these comments too, since I missed last week's episode. I didn't get to do that. I missed y'all, man. So, I'm going to read some of these. So, first, actually, this one, I really just want to read this one because there was no Centuria chapter this week, so I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this thought I've had. So from Alexia Rowan 7781, can't wait to see the fight between Seadric and Julian. So while yes, I also want to ask you guys that name Seadric. Is it like when I see that I'm thinking of like Sheol, like Sheoldric, and it kind of like I know like I think you play Magic and there's a character called like Sheoldred. I've heard you
Yeah,
say
I
it
was
before.
literally just about to
Yeah,
say that. Wow.
yeah, and like in Dungeon Crawler Carl, there's like Sheol is like the underworld or whatever. Like they use like Sheol flame, and it's like a flame that just can't go out. It just murders you beyond death. And it's like I looked up Sheol, and it's like another word for hell and Gehenna and all that stuff. So it's like I
Wow.
wonder if his name is like actually meant to be Sheoldric, and it's like kind of like a play, kind of like he's a his flame is as hot as like
Hell
hell.
flame, yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's spelled, Seadric or
But
whatever. But I
like you
wonder.
could see the like when the adaptation comes out, like, especially inside of like the Japanese language, that you could see it being pronounced Shio
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
that's how
Yeah.
I was feeling about that. I just haven't had the chance to like say his name since he's been a character or whatever. But like I
Yeah.
was wondering, like I feel like that. I like that. I don't know.
I like that too. Here for it.
Yes. Yeah. So supporting the Sheoldric and Julian, or well, just that name. But yeah, that fight's gonna move mountains. And you were right. Um, I ain't gonna be pissed if there's even a fucking single drop of rain in that fight at all, because I don't need Julian coming nowhere near water. Um, kind of pisses me off that Lalawag, the propagator, what's her name? The
The
Margrave
Margrave.
is yeah, kind of the fact that she seems to be setting it up tells me that she might be fucking trying to set up some kind of like arena fight, and it's like in those I could see it being a case where it's like we set up the perfect arena for you guys. Here's a body of water for you, and here's a bunch of flaming barrels for you. So
Yeah, that's what
manipulate these elements.
yeah, that's what Traffy was talking about. Just like, bro,
Like, do not do it, bro. Like,
please
let
no.
these niggas fight on bare land, dry. Just put them in
Yeah.
the desert and let them
Just
throw
throwing
hands.
hands.
Yeah, I need that. And so that's that comment. We got at Lucia Farul 5740. A 3 in Roman numerals is represented by 3 vertical lines, such as I. 3 horizontal lines is a symbol of modulo, the math symbol. It is not Jujutsu Kaisen 3, but Jujutsu Kaisen modulo.
Yeah, it cooked me. I loved that comment because, like, I don't remember where. I swear it was a conversation. I don't remember where it was. Maybe Twitter, which isn't like the best place to go for information, obviously. But I swear people were talking about how, they like retroactively numbered, the Jujutsu Kaisen series as JJK0 being the first one, and Jujutsu Kaisen being the second one, and Mojulo being the third one. Which, like, makes sense chronologically.
Yeah.
So like I kind of didn't second guess it, but that comment was great, and and I appreciate that information.
Yeah, check his ass.
Nah, because I had you stumped for a second in that segment too. Like
I didn't even recognize it as a 3 before you said something.
Right.
And looks like I was correct not to.
He was like, I have no arguments against this, so I will accept it.
First of all, we could both be right at the same time. So
Nigga
think
trying to
about
split
that.
the W.
That's only what a loser says.
Dang.
But that's how losers think.
Yeah, one of the best quotes, yeah.
The best panel of all time.
For real. All right, so we got at Whirly Squirrely 3368. Another Centuria comment. I ship Julian with Zana, Lacrima, TT, and Lucas. Hell, throw in the octopus Eldritch horror woman too.
Hell yeah,
This
brother.
nigga just wants to see. Like, just,
I'm not against it, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I
man.
know. Bro's Dojin tab is crazy right now.
Fellow monster fuckers, we stand up, bruh.
Crying. At
So-
least he didn't ship fucking Julian and Diana like fucking Traffy did. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Not.
He said, yeah.
I'm about to murder somebody.
I am too putting words in my mouth.
Oh, I'm just kidding.
Let me see. Just 2 more comments here. We got okay, I was just reading one. All right, so at Zostus 1500, good job puzzling out Snow White equals Koki Shiro. It's really obvious once you realize that Yukishiro literally means Snow White, and yeah, that one's crazy.
Why
We
do you
talked
have
about-
to reread this?
Yeah,
We talked about it in the Dandadan segment, but yeah, just had to highlight it again here.
Almost fell to my knees, bro, at work.
Yeah, that one was crazy. I had to like.
I got like lightheaded. I got lightheaded and like itchy when I read that comment, bro.
Yeah. So, thank you for that comment. And then the last one from Hishaku Hideout. Yo, Knox, you might have moved me more with the intro. Don't tell Yato though. You're banned.
It's okay. I'll unban you.
You're banned.
Keep that kind of shit coming.
Welcome back, baby. You can't touch it, man.
Oh,
outta here.
welcome back, baby.
Yeah, no, it ain't. The same.
Damn, it's not the same.
It don't hit the same, but that's gonna do it.
I'm gonna work on that.
He don't need no practice.
You right.
Just, stay away from it. Anyway, that was the comments of the week. So that's going to do it for Shonen Pulse episode 54. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our special guest. Check the timestamps below if you don't know what I mean, but we had the Broken Ronin on the show, and timestamps will show you which segments he was here for because he doesn't read everything we cover, but that's all good, baby. We appreciated his guest appearance. It was nice to have a fellow manga lover here to talk about these here comic books with us. But yeah, man, as usual, hit the like button, subscribe, comment, let us know your thoughts, comments, concerns, and just be on the lookout for more content from us as usual. We'll be back next week if nothing bad happens, and hit the buttons, man. Do the things. Check out our we got a Patreon and membership set up and stuff like that. And next week we'll probably be adding a new manga to the roster since Modulo is over. So rest in peace to Jujutsu Kaisen. And thanks for watching. I don't know if I said that already, but yeah, outro is long. Thanks Ronin for being here. He's already gone, so he can't say nothing. But he said thanks too. And we love y'all.